Hey, good morning from the office. Give it just a minute here. Give it just a minute. We're getting the lead out this morning. You can't start. You got to give this just a minute. Okay, we can start on that note. Good morning from the office, North Georgia's only live online morning show. I am BKP here, your host. We always start the show welcoming our new viewers. I told you a couple days ago I got a call from Florida. A guy called me down there, and I get a call about every day, or somebody says every day they've been watching the show. So we want to make sure we always stay humble and welcome the new viewers right at the beginning of the show because we know you're out there. Again, I'm your host, BKP. Now, we're going to do things a little different. You're usually used to me coming in and doing about 20 minutes of opening monologue with several things we're going to be doing throughout the morning. But we have a guest that we have to get him up to the high school. We're going to be talking to Gilmer High School Principal, Mr. Eric McPhee. He's here with us in studio, so we're going to make that happen real quick so he can get up there to the high school. So we're going to do that. If you're leaving the house this morning, it's 52 degrees. I hope everybody's okay out there. It was a tough night. I mean, some storms came through, people out of power and trees down. Seen some flash flooding along some roads that you sent pictures in on. But I hope everybody's okay this morning, and it's going to turn out to be a beautiful sunny day, high 68, so enjoy your sunny day. We're going to talk milestone test results. Now, you have seen a lot of negative. Lonnie, what am I hearing volume on? What do you have volume on? You have volume on the what do you have volume on? Okay, well, I'm sorry, but, it's 7:02 and you and I are already getting into it over something. We got volume over here. Anyhow, a lot of you are watching the Atlanta news and you're watching all the headlines. And I'm going to say this, that you're hearing maybe some negative things and they start out with those catchy headlines of how low the test scores are. Well, you know what? We're going to help do everything we can here at FetcherNews.com this morning to clear that up and give you the information. We have two great guests today. We have the high school principal with us here, Mr. McPhee, and then later in the show, we're going to have Superintendent of Schools, Shanna Wilkes. Dr. Shanna Wilkes is going to be with us. So we're going to do everything we can this morning to bring you all the information about those milestones test results. Come on in, Principal McPhee. Come on in and have a seat.
Thank you.
This mic is not, is it hot? Yeah. Okay, well, first of all, let me apologize. Lonnie and I might have to get into it a little bit.
I understand.
You understand?
I've met Lonnie.
Oh, you met him?
I have, sir. So I can understand.
Thank you. Now there's some things I have to, little house cleaning before
Absolutely.
we start, okay? I've waited my whole life for this. Seriously, okay? Now wait a minute, I'm going somewhere with this, all right? Do you know how many times I've been called down to the principal's office? It's about time the principal come to my office.
It is. It's
okay?
a humbling moment.
It's about time.
It's a humbling moment.
All right, because I have, Mom, if you're watching out there, principals in my office, you're not getting called in today. Okay, you're not getting called in. Principal's not calling you in. Thank you very much. I enjoy you being
my
a
pleasure.
good sport about that.
Anytime.
Okay. Another quick thing. I'm not going to say football. I just said it. I'm not going to say sideline. I just said it. We're going to stay away from that because that's my weaknesses. I'll start bringing that up. We are going to focus today on the test results. Now, I have Principal McPhee. I've had a lot of people call and email me, and I've read the headlines, test scores drop and this and that. But that's not really a fair assessment when you see the headline of the gap between the test scores. I've read the press release from the state superintendent of schools, Richard Wood, and the bar is not the same. It can't be measured that way. Start out by explaining what this testing is compared to year before last CRCT and the other testing the students used to take. Explain that a little bit, what this difference is.
The difference is in the method of testing. The old baseline, when we were looking at the end of course tests and the CRCT and the writing tests, they were specific exams that teachers had a target and they were able to aim at it. So we'll use ELA, English Language Arts, as an example. The teachers had that target in front of them. They knew what they were aiming for, and that's what they brought their students along for. Well, along the way, before last year, they changed that target. They took the target, moved it out of our way. We didn't know what we were aiming at. So everybody across the state had this new test. Now, the test in itself, these milestone tests, which are 6 different exams, 2 science, 2 social studies, 2 language arts, and 2 math tests, 2 at different grades, to assess where we're at as a school, kind of takes a big mixture of all the Common Core standards that then turn into the Georgia standards, that then turn into Performance of Excellence standards, and all those standards mixed in more reading, more literacy, more writing. So the tests are just a whole different format, including a lot of where we drop the ball a little bit in the writing component. So the test scores across the state, not Gilmer County only.
Right, exactly.
Make sure we understand that across the state,
right,
people were looking at numbers like 85, 90% in English language arts last year, and now we're looking at numbers like 38 and 39%.
Exactly.
So people are saying, well, what happened to our students? Did our students and our teachers all just lay down and quit and not do anything? Well, no, the target completely changed. What we were looking for, what we were aiming for, just got moved away. There was no target.
Not to interrupt you, but the state school superintendent, in his press release, and I made a note, the bar has been raised.
Completely.
The bar, that's what he says, and that is online, and we can get that. Lonnie, make a note. We're going to put Superintendent Richard Woods, State Superintendent Richard Woods' press release online. But the bar has been raised, is what he says. So the reaction initially, and again, I seen the headlines. I watched the quick clip in Atlanta News, or a print edition somewhere. It says test scores are not plummet. My words maybe, but you've heard all that. That's not a fair assessment of what happened with these scores
at all. It's not a fair assessment at all, because you're not comparing apples to apples. We're talking about 2 completely different types of assessment, measuring 2 completely different things. In other words, language arts or science right now, including all its writing, or economics, they're looking at the economic standards, the big ideas, which, like, if you wanted to look at a big idea in economics, fundamental economic concepts, microeconomic concepts, macroeconomic concepts, international economics, and personal finance economics. Those are the 5 big ideas on the economics test. Within each of those, then there are substandards that they have to learn and have to work on. It's not what was the War of 1912, when was it fought? It was all about understanding, to be able to read some informational text, take that text, and then apply it to something. And that's the difference in the testing. It's not a memorization. It's not I knew this formula, I knew that formula. It's being able to take what you read and apply it. And it's a whole different way of thinking. It's a whole new way of testing for the kids. So it's very, very different. And it's all online. It's no more paper and pen. So now, instead of having a piece of paper here and your notes over here, you're having to look at that computer screen, read something, switch to another screen,
right,
take that test, and go back to the screen. So it is a whole new shift in how you do things.
Well, I want to make sure it's, I'm not exactly 29 anymore.
No. 30 maybe.
No, easy.
Yeah.
All right? Let's keep this nice, okay, friendly. Anyhow, and you're hitting on all the things of, a pencil, which I enjoy, a piece of paper, and I don't want, but, I've got 19 tabs open,
And where to go. Yep.
Yeah, I've got 19 different tabs open here, and that's where we're at today.
Correct.
And that's what students we have to go forward with students in this direction if we're going to match up or excel worldwide with our students.
If we're going to compete.
So this testing, the milestone testing, is all online.
All online, 100%. We went to 100% online last year.
Now, last year when the milestone testing started, there was a lot of, not a lot, but there was some controversy that was made online. There was parents, I don't know if in Gilmer, that held their kids out of the testing. What do you think? You're better prepared this year than last year implementing the test this year? Why did it take so long for the testing to come back? I mean, those are some of the things. If these are going to be end-of-year results and things like that, I guess the bug's out. Is it going to get more efficient as the testing goes forward?
We certainly hope so, because to use data that they give us is absolutely incredible. I enjoy testing when you have a test, you have the results, and you make modifications to how you're teaching, how we're explaining. We make adjustments according to the data.
Exactly.
But when the data comes out 9 months after the exam, we've already moved on to the next time trying it. So we're really repeating right now what we were already doing. because we had no roadmap as to where we want to go. So now this data has come out. It has completely shown that we need to go in a different direction. So we have to take that. The state has said, and they have promised, that the new tests, the ones that we take coming up here in December 1st, will be returned within 10 days. So if a child takes a math test on December 1st and 2nd, that's when we'll be testing our algebra and geometry, December 1st and 2nd. We're supposed to have, before we come back from break, our results. Now that will be good, helpful data, because we'll take this data that we've already received, which is helpful to say that, okay, we've gotten off the road a little, we got on a back road here a little bit, we got to get back on it. Now we'll compare this to what we've been doing this semester with the minor adjustments, with staff changes, with new professional development that the teachers have been participating in, and just kind of everything they've done so far. On top of that, the test scores this year count on a student's grade. If you know all the grades we're looking at here, they counted towards nothing for the students
last year. Everything for teacher assessment,
student performance final
grades, nothing. Last year counted.
Nothing.
It
was a hold harmless baseline year. Yes.
It's 7-11, and I'm going to break a promise. In football, we have technology that after the play, within 3 seconds, we can send it to the ground and make adjustments in the front line or the defense for the next play.
Correct.
That is important in the classroom, and you got to have the data to make the adjustments with the students then. And
Correct.
That is a commitment they have to you, the educators out here call it in the field. I mean, out here in Gilmer County, in these counties out here working with students, they guarantee or say, we're going to get this data back to you so you can work with it.
Correct. And if they do that, teachers, students, everybody parents will have that immediate feedback that then can make the adjustments we need to adjust what we're teaching, what we need to place more emphasis on, and what we have to place less emphasis on. There might be skills that the children are absolutely getting, because there are so many standards, you cannot get them all in one semester. So you have to go to which ones are the standards that give the most impact in that time. So with that, the teachers will be able to look at this results and say, okay, well, I did really well on all my children did great on international economics, and I spent 4 weeks on that. Maybe I can spend 3 weeks on that and go 4 weeks on microeconomic concepts where they may not have performed so well. So they can adjust their teaching strategy based on student results in the student classes. This, if we want to talk football, it's like going into a football season, playing the whole season and not talking about it, get done with the season and have an 0-10 record, and then 2 weeks after you get in your record, or 3 months, they send you the game film of how you did last year, but you're already into the next season.
Right. I mean, I'm not going to make judgment on the testing itself. I mean, there's enough people out there judging the testing and the direction education is going, and I'm not going to do that. That's not my goal. But I'm very funny about if you don't have the data. Just for me, it's simple. If you don't have the data, how do you know how to make the adjustment to go forward? What are the number one things, since these test scores have become public and they've been put out there and they're in the media and they're press and you're seeing all the headlines? Bring it home to Gilmer County and North Georgia. What are the number one things that parents are asking you, the questions that you're fielding from the local community?
Well, number one, a child's bringing home a piece of paper from English language arts in 8th grade where they performed in their end of grade and maybe did like an 80% or a 90% and looked really good the year before. Now they're coming home with a 35. And the parents going, what happened in 9th grade? Did they make my child, what did we do to my child to make them perform so poorly? It wasn't the same. It's not apples and apples. We weren't. So the parent needs to understand that the 30 right now is aligned with where the state is. State averages are all pretty much within a certain bell and bubble and curve, and we're all within that. Obviously, without question, we want to perform a lot better, and we should perform a lot better. But we know where the target is now. Now we know what we're aiming at. If we get our results in December and the parents who have their kids take the test, they'll have that there. Now the target's even been moved a little closer to us, so it'll be even easier to hit. So we'll know what we're doing when we get this data. So the parent sees these results, they need to have their children prepared for this upcoming test, because this test this year is not hold harmless. It does count for 20% of their grade. The tests that we're talking about are algebra and geometry. Those are our 2 math tests. We're talking 9th grade literature and American literature, which is our 11th grade. Those are the two literature tests that are being tested statewide. There'll be science will be biology and physical science at our school, 9th grade and 10th grade. And then social studies will be economics and U.S. history. So those are the tests that the kids will be taking starting in December. Pretty much the whole month of December will be used for testing. They need to make sure they're getting a good night's sleep. They need to make sure they're getting a good breakfast in the morning. They need to be prepared to take the test and test-taking skills. We're not talking about, oh my God, I got to find a book and study real fast, because we've been teaching them skills that they just depend on to read and answer the questions based upon what you read in the text. So.
Well, the testing itself. Last year, I did pay attention to. I did pay attention to last year everything that came out, whether it was Gilmer County or the local counties. Everybody did a really good job putting out information for the parents, putting out information for the students, what they were up against that week, that whole month of testing, preparing for the test. But this year, we want to stress this counts.
This counts.
This counts.
We want to stress this counts towards teachers, towards administrators, towards the district, and most importantly, towards the students.
Last year was the state's transition year.
Baseline.
Period.
They were just setting their baseline.
Right. And I want to say this. I've read Superintendent of Schools Richard Wood's press release. I've read a lot of information on this. Our goal this morning on FetcherNews.com, Good Morning from the Office, our goal has been and will be all morning long to get the information for you, the parents out there, so you could see. I've seen a lot of, I'm going to use my words, negative headlines, and that's a judgment thing, but the testing is not apples for apples. This came from the press release. We have been consistently criticized. This is from State Superintendent Richard Woods, and this is just a sentence out of there. We have been consistently criticized for having a gap between proficiency on our state test and proficiency on our national assessment of education progress. And this is raising the bar. So this is in the press release we'll put up today. It's raising the bar. It's not that, if your child came home with an 80 2 years ago or last year and this year came home with a 34, the test is totally different, and I'm for sure they'll answer any individual questions if you might have them. One other thing I want to touch on is it went from 3 general assessments to 4. We've got beginning learner, and I read this in the press release, and I read it in another superintendent of schools press release explaining it. Beginning learner, developing learner, proficient learner, and distinguished learner. I know which one I wouldn't have taken home, but anyhow.
Not many of us did.
Okay. What are the 4 levels? Give me just a highlight on those 4 levels and how, if parents see that, how to accept that or know what areas they need to work in.
The state has set those 4 areas that you talked about: the beginning, the developing, the proficient, and the distinguished learner categories. If you were to compare it with children had last time, it was below, meets, and exceeds. Those were our 3 categories before.
Below, meets, and exceeds.
Below, meets, and exceeds. Correct.
These are the 4 now.
Now it's 4. What they've done is basically drew new lines in those 3 and gave them 4 new names. The developing took that exceeds and made it smaller and higher. The proficient moved it over this way a little bit. So everything moved over to the right a little bit so that the bar is raised as to when you fall in those categories. If you took your test and you scored within the developing learner, you actually had a passing score. Some of those people in the developing learner stage actually have passing scores on the test, but they're still considered developing learners because they might be like performing at a C if you were to put it to a grade. So they're working, they're approaching, they're almost there in the meets category, which I still have trouble not saying meets, but in the proficient category, they're right there. They're still going to pass their exams. They still would have passed their final if they had that 20%. But they're listed in the developing category because they're not quite up to where the state says their standard has been set and the bar has been set for comparison nationwide.
Gilmer County as a whole, you're the principal. Again, we're talking with Gilmer County Principal Eric McPhee. Mr. McPhee, the Gilmer County as a whole, where do you think the county, and we're going to be talking this a little deeper with the superintendent of schools, a little different questioning later today, this morning, but where do you think, are you satisfied with the direction the school is going in now? Are you satisfied with the data? Or do you feel you have the data to work with your students there at the high school?
First of all, the direction of the district. I think the district is going in a fabulous. Dr. Wilkes has really got a good grasp on academics and what is needed to keep moving forward. I'm not a believer that tomorrow we're going to be at 100% because there's too many things involved in that. You know, getting kids to school, things going on in their lives. There's too many other elements that keep children from performing at the level we would love them all to perform at. There's too many elements involved in my own life and my teachers' lives, and too many human variables that keep people from being at 100% all the time. But the one thing I do believe is that we can continually improve. And setting goals is the first step in all of that. Dr. Wilkes is incredible and understands that whole setting goal thing. So what we have done this year, and I think that's going to keep moving forward, and then I've been working with the teachers, and the teachers have been working with the kids, is let's set a goal. If our goal this year is, look, I believe firmly that we should be at the state level and above. Gilmer County, with the children we have, the parents we have, the community we have, should never ever be below the state level. That's just a given, because we're comparing ourselves to the entire state, which includes a lot of areas that have a lot worse issues than we do. A lot more variables than we do. We have a lot of family support. We have a lot of things going on here that make it a good place to be. The problem is we haven't set a goal, and we've kind of been floundering a little bit. And that's just on all of us, all leadership. And that's leadership's fault, that we've just been floundering. Dr. Wilkes has come in and said, let's set goals. I agree with her 100%. Let's set those goals. Let's have that dashboard. Let's progress monitor every month. But our goals are set, and I've started sharing those with the teachers. If you take a look, if we performed at a 35% in algebra, and I'm going by numbers, I'm not memorizing them. I have them right, I can give you exact number, but I'm just using examples. If we performed at 35% in algebra, and the state performed at 37%, our goal is to at least be at 37 plus 3% higher than the state average. So that would put us at 35%, 37 is where we'd want to be plus 3, so our goal is right now at 40%, for example. We're not going to aim for 100 this year. Let's take it in little pieces so people realize this is something we can accomplish. The test is not overwhelming. Nobody has to freak out. It's baby steps. We're going to improve every year. Little improvement this year, more improvement next year, and keep upping our own bar and moving forward. Number one, get above the state plus 3. So if algebra's 50 is up now at 35, now we're going to move to 43. If that's our number, 43 is our target of how many kids? Well, 43% of 100 kids is 43 kids must meet or exceed. So we can take a look at, okay, where are we at right now? I can look at my list of 150 kids that are about to test and say, okay, I know I got my 43. How can I get 10 more in there? What else do we have to do? What has to be done? What skills have to be worked on to help? What skills are these kids missing that can get them into that other group? So now it becomes very specific based on the data. It's pinpoint accuracy, it's prescriptive in nature, and we're taking a prescription and we're saying this is what you need to be successful. Because we don't know the answers to the test. We can't teach the test. It's all about being able to do the skills necessary to pass the test. So what skills are you missing that will help you pass this test, this assessment, to help your grade? So we have become very specific. We set goals. I've even given you a copy of the goals. And, like I can tell you right now, just looking at 9th grade literature right now. Now, 9th grade literature has always been above 90% in performance. So this year, we're at 31%. That doesn't mean our kids I'm not saying they got dumber. Doesn't mean our teachers got worse.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you understand? Bar is raised. It's just a whole different story.
Right.
So, okay, the new bar, the new test shows us at 31% meet and exceeds.
Right.
Okay? Out of 394, 124 kids are there. If we want to be at the new goal of 41%, that's a 10% gain. I'm going to have at least 15 more students, which is a reachable thing, meet that goal. The next year, we're going to have 23 meet the goal. And we're going to have to keep going higher and higher as we know what we're teaching.
But as a school system, the superintendent, along with all of you, have put goals together.
100%.
And that's what you want to go towards.
Correct.
And you know, I like that. I'm a firm believer you got to know where you're going. Mm-hmm. You got to know where you want to be.
Got to have a roadmap.
You got to know where you want to be. Well, I have now one thing I have to ask this because I have to ask this because, there's always, you never can have this conversation with the testing, and I read all these articles. What would you say this testing is paralleling the Common Core curriculum?
Common Core.
Or it's written for it. I don't want to get it wrong.
No,
I don't want to. I don't want to.
It's
Something inside tells me you have a disciplinary form in that thing that I could get. Trust me, I'm sorry. This is very therapeutic for me this morning.
You can get in trouble for asking the wrong question.
Yeah, it'd be the first time.
Yeah.
It'd be the first time the principal's office. I don't leave with a disciplinary form.
Well,
I'm sorry. I don't want you to think I was that bad of a kid.
It's a school-related event that we're at now since I'm here. So yes, you can, because it is school-related. I can somehow tie it into the code of conduct, pal. So easy. But listen, there is the original push. I mean, you go back all the way to 2001, where No Child Left Behind began.
Right.
Okay.
I read that.
And you had the Bushes started with the No Child Left Behind, and all that really was a statement saying we need some accountability. If I'm a roofer, I have to get on the roof every day, or I'm a plumber, I have accountability. The thing's got to work or it doesn't got to work. I can't just walk away and say, I showed up. So they wanted accountability for teachers, for staff, for administrators. Nothing wrong with that. I think that's an excellent, excellent thing we should all have. We should be accountable for what we do, because you're putting your kids, our most precious cargo, in our hands. We want to be accountable for not only getting them through the day, getting them fed in the morning, getting them fed at lunch, not giving them transportation and getting them home safely, making sure they get through their day safely. All those things come with it. Working on our moral compass in school. All those things come with it. But on top of that, we have a definite responsibility to put towards their academic endeavors and their future. And we have to take that a lot more serious. It's not just babysitting. I need from you to come in, you have to leave better than when you came in, and smarter and more prepared for the career or the college, whatever it is that you want to do. So with that responsibility, out came people saying, hey, it's unfair the way we measure, because I'm in Georgia, I'm taking this test that the Georgia teachers made, and it's really hard. But in Arkansas, and please, I'm not picking on Arkansas, please don't I just picked a state, it starts with A. In Arkansas, their people made a test, but it's much simpler. It was a different test, because every state through No Child Left Behind was allowed to make their own tests, their own examination, and their own measurement of academic levels. So some states had pretty simple tests, some states had much harder tests. So now you're comparing states across the nation and you're saying, well, I'm going to move to Arkansas because, boy, they've got a 98% graduation rate and their test scores are all at 95, 96, 97%. Look at Georgia, man. They're performing in 30s and 40s. Why would I move there? They're way behind. We're not comparing apples to apples. So Common Core people came out and said, look, let's just go with these standards, which is teaching the skills necessary to move forward. Let's give them the standards. And let's have standards across the country that are common, that all kids go through. So if you're in 10th grade world literature across the country, the questions will be different, but the standard, the how do you read, how do you write, at what level do you read and write, how you do cause and effect, how do you do compare and contrast, all of those things across the country became common vernacular, common vocabulary. Okay? So once that came out, that was awesome, but then our egos stepped in. And again, I can only use the egos because I know mine came in, oh my God, we're going to be doing the same thing across the country, and they're really going to see that I'm not as proficient as I say I am. So Common Core met with a lot of resistance. But the basic concept of Common Core, the teaching of the standards and teaching of what we feel are strengths in the standards, it was correct. It's the commonality of it across the state that really had people upset. So states said, look, we're going to do our own version of it. And they came up with the Georgia performance standards. Florida came up with their performance standards. State to state, the standards are pretty much still exactly the same. They just reworded the Common Core to words that we were more comfortable with. Then it became an exercise in vocabulary, an exercise in semantics. So every state came up with their own core. So Common Core is gone, but we have the Georgia core, or the core Georgia performance standards. And those Georgia performance standards are based basically on the Common Core. That's like Spanish to Latin. They all originated from something, and that's where they originated from. But they're more specific to our group, so that Georgia can always say we're doing our thing, Florida can say they're doing their thing, and Arkansas can say they're doing their thing. And some states went to the Park exam, which was an exam they were going to do across the country, was the Common Core exam. States like Illinois, states like Wisconsin. And they performed they have results like what we're getting right now on the Park exam. So nobody across the country is doing well on the new format. But because everybody raised the bar, it's not a bad thing. You got to start somewhere. So
I appreciate it. I could sit here all day and talk with you because I know we could probably start going into other subjects and football could enter in and we could sit here all morning.
Well, it is basketball season.
I was getting ready to say it's time to go courtside. I was getting ready to say that. Now, our Monday morning quarterback show, we will have one more because we're going to have all the coaches in North Georgia. We're going to have three coaches Monday morning talking about the new region makeup.
Oh, yeah.
And how things are going to work out there. So we'll be talking that Monday morning. But yes, it's time for courtside and wrestling mats and all those indoor activities. And I'm looking forward to spending. I always like the holiday tournament with all the teams.
Well, Shofi's hosting that one this year up at Fannin. This year, it's their turn this year to host that, and that's a great tournament. I've heard about him. You know, he just knows he's got a district on the south heading, we'll catching up quick. So
we'll give him an okay. We'll leave it at that. I appreciate it. Is there anything today that you wanted to, because we're going to clip this, anything today that you wanted to convey to parents or people out there, anybody watching, concerning these tests or concerning the results that we didn't get in today? Anything?
I think parents really need to look at one key component. You send your kids to get a high school education and get a diploma and then move on either to career or college. At Gilmer High School, our graduation rate this year moved to 91.481%.
Yes,
that's off of 79.9% is where we were last year. Taking a look at getting kids through high school and making our focus what our mission is, which is to ensure that children graduate. We're heading in that goal. That was our goal that we set for the year. We increased our graduation to 91.481, and that was through the efforts of our parents, our students, and our teachers. And it really was a major accomplishment, and we want to celebrate that because we should always be in the 90-plus range for graduation. So we're real proud of that accomplishment. On the heels of that came these new test results. We're not in a panic. We know what has to be done. Teachers are working towards what has to be done. And each year, this will be better and better, the numbers, because the state's going to have to adjust too, because they're putting out numbers that are saying statewide we're performing at 35%. And our kids are much smarter than I was when I was in school. Our kids are doing things right now that are way above anything that I could ever conceived in high school, and they're dealing with way more than I ever had to deal with in high school. So proud of the Gilmer High School kids, and again, I'm proud of all the kids, the students. That's what I went in this career for. I'm really proud of my teachers because they're the ones in the public right now being looked at like they did something wrong. They're the ones in the media that they're hearing their name because you just say teacher and it's them. So This isn't Gilmer County, this is a statewide issue, but you know what? They come to work every day. They love our kids every day. They do a great job with our kids every day, and the parents should be confident that sending their kids to Gilmer High School is going to get them the best education they can get anywhere, and I'm real proud of that.
I appreciate that. I'm BKP, your host. Good morning from the office, North Georgia's only live online morning show. We have been talking about the Milestones test results with the principal, Gilmer County High School, Eric McPhee. We appreciate him coming in. We're going to go to break, and then we're going to come back, and I'll open up with a little monologue, tell you a couple things that I might have that I'm thinking about today. But again, we're going to go to break, and we'll be back after these messages. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
I'm Sheriff Dane Kirby, and I'll stand up for you.
I'm Stacy Nicholson, Sheriff of Gilmer County, and I will stand up for you.
Stand up and speak out. No matter how rich, cool, talented you believe yourself to be, how you treat people ultimately tells all. I am Allison Sosby, District Attorney, and I'll stand up for you.
LJ Tire Company since 1955. With a huge range of tires at the lowest price and fast, hassle-free service, LJ Tire is all you need every time. LJ Tire carries only the top brands in the industry: Cooper, Michelin, Mickey Thompson, Pirelli, and Yokohama. Stop in and let AES certified mechanics change your oil today. Life doesn't slow down for car maintenance, and LJ Tire won't either. If your car is tired of its tires, go to LJ Tire.
What you gonna do with all that junk?
All-new Schottenkirk Ford in Jasper. Highway 515 South, Jasper. SchottenkirkFordJasper.com.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds. Come on in to view the area's largest selection of fine jewelry at North Georgia Diamond. All repairs and designs are done on-site by our jewelers. And North Georgia Diamond has the lowest prices on loose diamonds. You can also sell your gold, silver, and coins at North Georgia Diamond between Walmart and Lowe's in East Ellijay. Locally owned by Bill and Allison Craig, North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
Let it ride during the Lucky 7 sales event at Lifetime Kia. Come try your luck in the Money Machine. Yes, come take a test drive and you get a chance to grab for cash in the Money Machine. Plus, shop big-time savings on every vehicle in stock. And remember, Kias come with a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty. And Lifetime Kia will extend that warranty for as long as you own it. Come try your luck in the Money Machine and experience the savings at Lifetime Kia.
El Rey in Ellijay.
El Rey Mexican Restaurant.
Family owned and operated and a local favorite for families, parties, and meetings.
Great prices.
Friendly service and delicious Mexican cuisine.
Patio dining available.
Come sing in Carlos's Cantina every Friday 9 to 1.
Eat in or take away.
Same location for 14 years. Open 7 days at the corner of Maddox Drive and 515. North Georgia's favorite Mexican cuisine. El Rey in Ellijay.
Hi, I'm Rhonda the Mattress Lady, and this is my husband Gary, owners of Mattress Overstocked in Ellijay next to Walmart.
And we want to earn your business. From the time you walk in our door to the time we deliver your new mattress to your door, you will see the difference. Our selection and prices are the best in North Georgia, and customer service is our top priority. So y'all come on in and let us help you find the right mattress at the right price. That's Mattress Overstocked in Ellijay next to Walmart.
Only one thing beats a day's price on a new Chevy. It's our pre-owned price. Now at the Days Chevy Jasper Pre-Owned Super Center. Save thousands off original MSRP on the best selection of pre-owned vehicles in the North Georgia mountains. Cars, trucks, SUVs, even luxury vehicles. Many with factory warranty. And all thousands below new car prices. We can even help rebuild your credit. Save thousands today at the Days Chevy Jasper Pre-Owned Super Center. The North Georgia mountains big volume, low price leader.
Better days ahead, Days Chevrolet.
Find new roads.
Good morning. We are back. I'm your host, BKP. What do we got going on here? Let me hear some music. Oh, I like that one. Jimi Hendrix. Right? Yeah, we're going to take some Jimi Hendrix. Good morning from the office, North Georgia's only live online morning show. I am your host, BKP. Now, if you were here for the first segment, we changed things up because the principal had to get up to the high school. Now, I said it jokingly if you were here, but there's a lot of truth to it. I mean, trust me, this is the first time. It's about time the principal came to my office. You know how long I've been holding that line? Ever since you told me he was coming by. Oh, that was my line because, you remember the young lady that the officer had to remove from the classroom because she got sent to the principal's office and wouldn't go? Remember that? Yeah. That was not me. I went. All right, I'm going to the principal's office, I went to the principal's office so often.
How often was it?
That the little row of chairs outside in next to the front desk, right? Okay. They had one with my name on it. That's how often I went. I mean, the little row of chairs out front, they had one with my name on it. That's how often. I went there so often to the principal's office when I was in high school, okay, that I worked the sign-in sheet. The lady at the counter would say, hey, I have to go down the hall and drop these copies off to the English teacher. If somebody comes in, could you sign them out? Sure, I work here. That's how often I was in the principal's office. I worked the sign-in and out,
It's still a bad thing. They used to say it's never a good thing if the principal knows you by name. Well, he knows you by name, Brian.
Oh, yes. Absolutely. Our principal not only knew me by name, he knew me by shirt collar. And if you don't know what that means, okay? Because I remember somebody in the hallway. So anyhow, we get past that. I'm enjoying it way too much. But our goal this morning, your host here, Thursday, November 19th, it is 57 degrees. It's going to be a beautiful 68 out there today. Beautiful 68. It's going to be a sunny day. I hope everybody's okay. It's really foggy this morning as you're leaving for work. But we just had Gilmer High School Principal Eric Maffitt. Now, if you missed that or you said, I wish to get to know the principal of the school, discuss the testing, you're hearing all the negatives on the news. We just wanted to give the schools an opportunity. And I know he's only speaking for Gilmer High School, but there's a lot of high schools in our viewing area that you're kind of wondering what happened with your students testing with the milestones test. So we want to give that opportunity. Now we're going to go to another level of questioning. I wasn't going to sit here. I can already hear through the camera. I wasn't going to sit here and go thoroughly through a principle on Common Core and all the beliefs and one thing after the other. I know a lot of people out there are concerned about this testing and Common Core. But now we will have around the 9 o'clock, we're going to let you know, around the 9 o'clock area, we're going to have Superintendent Shanna Wilkes. Dr. Shanna Wilkes will be with us. She's Superintendent of Schools of Gilmer County. And this way, what we could do is we're going to clip these together. We're going to clip the principal and the Superintendent of Schools. We're going to clip these together. We're going to make it one segment when we're done. And then that way you can share it everywhere and hear what they say about the testing. A lot of parents out there concerned about their students' tests from last year, what's coming up in the month of December, and how to prepare and how do they count. So we're going to discuss that and go a little deeper with Dr. Shanna Wilkes, Superintendent of Gilmer County Schools, here around 9 o'clock. So I'm kind of got to get back on my flow. I got to get my flow going here, because usually I come in and we have, I cut up for 20 minutes, and then we go to break, and I let you know all the things I'm going to get worked up about during the day. I promise you we're only minutes away from discussing, terrorists and fake passports and refugees and the president. Why does the president always go out of the country to talk trash about us here? I mean, this guy cannot go, he cannot go out of the country without talking trash about us here. Ted Cruz said, come on, you want to talk about me? You want to fly all the way around the world and talk about me? Come back, we'll debate this issue. Now, the terrorists have released a video. They have released a video concerning Times Square. Okay, well, you're not going to like this, but let me give you the terrorist a couple tourist tips. If you are ISIS, you don't have to worry about the stop and frisk policy in New York City, because Mayor de Blasio took that away. So we won't stop and frisk you in New York City if you are planning to. If you are a terrorist out there and you're planning to visit New York City, during the holiday season. It's beautiful. You could, if you're a terrorist out there, you can go ice skating down at Rockefeller Center. You could be there the night they light the tree. You could see, FEO Schwartz. They light up the display in the window. All the good things, the joy of going, all the Thanksgiving Day parade, the Macy's Day parade. You got Charlie Brown up there floating around. You got SpongeBob SquarePants. All the enjoyable attractions that any terrorist would want during the holidays. And there are a couple things you don't have to worry about in New York City with Mayor de Blasio. You don't have to worry about stop and frisk, because nobody's going to stop you and frisk you. And you don't have to worry about somebody reporting something suspicious. You remember when we used to say, if you see something, report it? You don't have to worry about that, because in New York City, it'll be considered racial profiling and it'll be discounted. They won't follow that up. They have the terrorist, and I know how angry you are with me now. Why do you make light of this? Why? Because listen, I have been to New York City during the holidays. I have. We used to go to New York City all the time. But I'm telling you right now, I have a bad feeling in this country that Times Square is not the target. I think it's a decoy. I think you need to get ready out there in America. I think you need to get ready out there in America for the heartland. And when I say that, I think you need to get ready somewhere around Minnesota. I don't know. You might think I'm wrong. Five Guys, and I'm not talking about a burger either. Five Guys were headed to the U.S. I think they were stopped in Honduras, right? We'll read that a little later in the morning. They were headed to the U.S. with fake passports. Oh, you mean they weren't orphans, Mr. President? They weren't 3-year-olds. They were Five Guys. Five Guys. The majority of the Syrian refugees. Now, you are the one out there going to have to make a judgment about your president. I got to get off this. The majority of the Syrian refugees are men military age. Okay? Donald Trump, what do you think it is? What do you think it is? Lonnie in the break, see if you can find this clip. Okay? Donald Trump said, he's at a rally. He starts talking about food stamps. All right? Some hecklers in the crowd. He started talking about food stamps. Donald Trump says, this is what he said. He says, I mentioned food stamps and this guy who is seriously overweight goes crazy. That's what he said. That's what he said. Because this guy, Donald Trump's talking about food stamps in this country. And there was somebody heckling. I have not seen the person. Donald Trump says, I mentioned food stamps, and this guy here, he's seriously overweight. He goes crazy. All right. John Kerry, the ignorance and insensitivity of John Kerry, the buffoon, all the above. He says the Charlie Hebdo attacks, he uses words like legitimated, rational. I'm telling you, man. Oh, some of the busiest airports in the world, you'll be on strike. Okay, they're going on strike. SEIU, have you heard of the SEIU? They're going on strike. And they want these poor working conditions and minimum wage of $15 an hour. So those are some of the things we're going to be talking about. We're going to go further into the testing scores. Now, we wanted to do this for a reason. I have seen all the negative headlines. I've seen all the negative headlines about the testing. Now, I, for one, am not going to get into a Common Core discussion. I mean, I believe Lonnie and I voted, and it's 2-0, and we have instituted. We're using the math that got us back and forth to the moon, right, Lonnie? Is that the math? We have voted, and that's the math. That's the official math of FetcherNews.com. Good morning from the office. The math that got us back and forth to the moon. So that is what we're using. But the test scores have dramatically changed, and we know parents have a lot of concerns. And here at FetcherNews.com, we want to do everything to bring you all the information in the community we possibly can. Now, the principal said he could stop by any time in the morning. I think we're going to do that. We're going to get him as a regular here. He's a pretty good guy. I enjoy that. He has always wanted to know where my glasses are. He knows every time I lose my glasses on the sideline of the football field, Principal McPhee and his wife will look at me and say, "Where are your glasses?" And they help me see the scoreboard. Bad part of that is there's many times I didn't want to see the scoreboard this year. That's why I left my glasses. I blamed it on I couldn't find my glasses. I just didn't want to see the scoreboard this year in many different events. I am your host, BKP. Good morning from the office. Go and find us on Facebook. Find us on Facebook, see what we're talking about. If you'd like to get involved in the show, 706-889-9700. If you would like to send us some text messages or questions, and I'll make them nice, but if you have some questions for the superintendent of schools, you can email those to Lonnie, chief@fetchernews.com, or you can text us 706-889-9700 if you have a question for the superintendent of schools concerning your child's testing, concerning the test scores, and what's coming up in December, as you heard. If you heard something in the interview this morning that you have questions about or you want to make comments about, we will gladly read them on the air. We'll keep them clean. We keep it clean here. Well, I know what you're saying out there. I can hear you all the way through there. You're saying, yeah, BKP, I've heard you get wound up and say, and I always apologize. I try not to. You know what just came to mind? You know, Lonnie, how bad my ADD is, right? I'm buying the rights. I've already bought the rights to. I'm calling the book Ada Street LLC, because I think that's I was like Ada Street. I didn't know what Ada Street was, but Ada Street LLC, and I'm going to buy the rights to that. We're going to do the movie. We're going to do an HBO documentary, okay? Because we have all the video from all the meetings, right? So we're going to do a documentary, A City in Chaos, Ada Street LLC. Or what will we name it, Lonnie? Ada Street, Blue Ridge, the movie. Well, now you're too young for this. They used to call it Peyton Place. There was you have no idea what I just said. It's Peyton Place, okay? That was years ago. And then there was a song, Jeannie C. Riley, I think her name was, all right? Jeannie C. Riley, when she went in and to the Harper Valley PTA. You're all a bunch of hypocrites at the Harper Valley PTA. I'm telling you, these depositions from Ada Street LLC public, when they're public, and they will be, whoa, the book that will be written. I mean, I think when they voted that night to turn down, and I'm not in favor of it, what I'm saying is I'm not advocating, okay? I mean, they have the right to vote. But I think when they turn that down that night, they don't realize, I mean, I think, you know, it's gone from zoning to this might be a trashy novel. I'm telling you, Lonnie, wait till you read these. I've read some of the hot spots and woo, interesting. But I don't know why I just thought of that, but I want the rights to Ada Street LLC because the depositions are going to be, it's going to be a made-for-TV movie. In fact, that movie will come with a warning. I'm going to make a Lifetime movie. I don't know what I'm getting into. We're going to make a movie, Lonnie. Just get ready. We're making a movie. We're writing a book. And I got to figure out, let's start figuring out who we're going to cast to play people. Like, who we're going to cast to play the mayor. Who we're going to cast to play Angie Arp. Who we're going to cast to play, now, I tell you the toughest cast member is going to be Rhonda Thomas. Because now, buddy, she come after you. That's going to be a tough one. I got to figure out. So we got to start figuring out the cast of Ada Street LLC. We're going to do the movie. The book. Are you going to ghostwrite it for me? Okay. Hey, I'm your host, BKP. I'm getting sidetracked here. I've got to get back in the role of having some fun here. Good morning from the office, North Georgia's only live online morning show. Hey, if you want to be a part of Team FYN Sports, it's time to go courtside. Now, all of the new regions have been, and Pickens is the largest 4A school there, staying in 4A. I know some teams were kind of wishing they would move on. We're going to talk about that Monday. On Monday Morning Quarterback, we have lined up, so you know this. Monday Morning Quarterback, we told you last week we were moving this week to courtside, but we're going to get into basketball this week. We are going to do another episode of Monday Morning Quarterback for the simple reason, 8 o'clock Monday morning, because we're going to have all three head coaches. David Sauls has has scheduled Coach Pavo in Fannin, Coach Grage in Gilmer, and Coach Parker in Pickens. We're getting 3 coaches together, talk about the new regions, how they're made up, what they're looking at for the upcoming season. So that will be a special on Monday Morning Quarterback. If you would like to go courtside, if you'd like to be on the mat with wrestling is taken off. If you'd like to be on the mat with wrestling, if you'd like to cover Park and Rec, if you'd like to cover a local college in the area that we do, Team FYN Sports is looking for you. If you're in the Dawson, Lumpkin, Union, Towns, Murray, White County, Gilmer, Fannin, or Pickens, or Cherokee County, North Carolina, and you want to join Team FYN Sports, get in touch with us today, FetcherNews.com. If you get us, Chief at FetcherNews.com, if you get us information concerning things going on out there, whether it's wrestling and we can't get there, and you want to be a part of getting us some pictures, some highlights, so we can get them on Team FYN Sports, FetcherNews.com, please contact us today, Chief at FetcherNews.com. Become a part of Fetch today. Lonnie, also follow us on Twitter, at Fetcher News, hashtag GMFTO. We live in a hashtag world. Don't forget, your host, I am coming every single day, and I can't wait to tell you, I had coffee with a liberal at Starbucks with a red cup. Oh, I love that line. I'm going to take a break. We're going to go to break, but first, I got to give you a couple. If you'd like to get your advertisement on FetcherNews.com, we need advertisers. Get in touch with us at chief@FetcherNews.com. If you'd like to advertise on our website, if you would like for me to give you a shout out here and read your advertising on the show, or if you have a commercial or would like to get a commercial made to put on the show, contact us today. We need advertisers. We got to pay the bills here. Don't forget, FetcherNews.com is the only family-owned, locally owned news information center in Gilmer County. That would be us, the oldest and only. Day Chevrolet, want to thank them for all season providing that great place for us to have our show every week. Day Chevrolet, Circuit World, Blue Ridge, and East LJ. Check out Circuit World. We'll be putting some things up. They have some great sales going on for these holiday seasons. Circuit World does. And don't forget, promotional code FetcherNews.com. If you say, I've seen the sign Circuit World, I've seen it over there, but I have never been over there, and you've never been a customer, 10% off your very first purchase at Circuit World, but promotional code FetcherNews.com. Mesquite Grill is located in Blue Ridge. L&L Beanery, the local neighborhood coffee shop where you can go down there, meet with friends, free Wi-Fi. You can sit there and use the Wi-Fi and have a great breakfast and lunch. That's at L&L Beanery in Blue Ridge, downtown. Salon 84 Hair and Color. They are located at West Church Street in Jasper. That's Salon 84 Hair and Color. 706-253-9876. Make your appointment today at Clock Tower Gifts and Boutique located in Jasper. Woodbridge Inn. What is a special today? Fried chicken. 11 to 2, downtown Jasper. Don't miss the fried chicken. And Sensations for those great tanning packages. Tell them you want the Rachel Dolzer package. Yes, you want the Rachel Dolzer tanning package. If you don't know what that is, they probably don't either. But go to Sensations for those great tanning packages. Call them 706-692-7565. 28 South East Street there in Jasper. I'm going to take a break. We're pushing up on 8 o'clock. Going to be a beautiful sunny day after this fog breaks through. You're going to have an enjoyable day. It's going to be around 68 degrees today. And again, at 9 o'clock, we'll be having Superintendent of Schools, Gilmer County, Dr. Shanna Wilkes. So, Lonnie, take us a break, and we'll be back soon.
Only one thing beats a day's price on a new Chevy. It's our pre-owned price. Now at the Days Chevy Jasper Pre-Owned Supercenter. Save thousands off original MSRP on the best selection of pre-owned vehicles in the North Georgia mountains. Cars, trucks, SUVs, even luxury vehicles. Many with factory warranty. And all thousands below new car prices. We can even help rebuild your credit. Save thousands today at the Days Chevy Jasper Pre-Owned Supercenter. The North Georgia mountains big volume, low price leader.
Better days ahead, Days Chevrolet.
Find new roads.
Hi, I'm Rhonda the Mattress Lady, and this is my husband Gary, owners of Mattress Overstocked in LJ next to Walmart.
And we want to earn your business. From the time you walk in our door to the time we deliver your new mattress to your door, you will see the difference. Our selection and prices are the best in North Georgia, and customer service is our top priority. So y'all come on in and let us help you find the right mattress at the right price. That's Mattress Overstocked in LJ next to Walmart.
LJ Tire Company since 1955. With a huge range of tires at the lowest price and fast, hassle-free service, LJ Tire is all you need every time. LJ Tire carries only the top brands in the industry: Cooper, Michelin, Mickey Thompson, Pirelli, and Yokohama. Stop in and let AES certified mechanics change your oil today. Life doesn't slow down for car maintenance, and LJ Tire won't either. If your car is tired of its tires, go to LJ Tire.
I'm Sheriff Dane Kirby, and I'll stand up for you.
I'm Stacy Nicholson, Sheriff of Gilmer County, and I will stand up for you.
Stand up and speak out. No matter how rich, cool, talented you believe yourself to be, how you treat people ultimately tells all. I am Allison Sosby, District Attorney, and I'll stand up for you.
New Schottenkirk Ford in Jasper. Highway 515 South, Jasper. SchottenkirkFordJasper.com.
What you gonna do with all that junk?
El Rey and LJ.
El Rey Mexican Restaurant.
Family owned and operated, and a local favorite for families, parties, and meetings.
Great prices.
Friendly service and delicious Mexican cuisine.
Patio dining available.
Come sing in Carlos's Cantina every Friday 9 to 1.
Eat in or take away.
Same location for 14 years. Open 7 days at the corner of Maddox Drive and 515. North Georgia's favorite Mexican cuisine. El Rey and LJ.
Let it ride during the Lucky 7 sales event at Lifetime Kia. Come try your luck in the money machine. Yes, come take a test drive and you get a chance to grab for cash in the money machine. Plus, shop big time savings on every vehicle in stock. And remember, Kias come with a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty. And Lifetime Kia will extend that warranty for as long as you own it. Come try your luck in the money machine and experience the savings at Lifetime Kia.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds. Come on in to view the area's largest selection of fine jewelry at North Georgia Diamond. All repairs and designs are done on site by our jewelers. And North Georgia Diamond has the lowest prices on loose diamonds. You can also sell your gold, silver, and coins at North Georgia Diamond between Walmart and Lowe's in East LJ. Locally owned by Bill and Allison Craig, North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
Play my music in the sun. I'm a joker, I'm a smoker, I'm a midnight toker. I sure don't want to hurt no one.
Stevie Miller Band. I always have to check. I gotta check, see if I get it right. Lonnie has the music over here. Hit the next one. Let's play Name That Tune. Let's see if I can get the next. If I get the next one, I'm your host, BKP. If I get the next one, then I'll move on. Hit the next song. Did it? Why are you laughing? You don't think I know this? Well, first of all, it's Through the Jungle. It's CCR.
You were wrong on the title.
But I got CCR.
It's CCR.
It is CCR, but it's Run Through the Jungle. I know that's not the name of it, but that line is in there. Yeah. CCR. Okay, we're gonna move on. I promised if I got the next song, we move on. Name that tune. You can't stump me.
Would you like to know the title?
Go for it.
Born on the Bayou.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Born on the Bayou. Yeah, that's right. But I knew it was CCR. You can't stump me. If we got into titles, you could stump me. But Name That Tune, I'm gonna hit Name That Tune. Good morning, and that's some of the joys. What is your joy out there? I mean, you might say, well, BKP, you're silly. That's a joy. That's some of the joys. It's the silly little joys of life that we have, and we want to protect them. It doesn't matter if it's playing Name That Tune. The silly little joys that we have in life, the quality of life, the fun that we have, the what we want to do. And we're the bad people, Mr. President, for wanting to preserve that for all who want to come and enjoy that. We're not saying we don't want you to come here, but we want you to come here and enjoy Name That Tune. Not Can I Kill You on Times Square. Kind of going a little different direction here. I am your host, BKP. Good morning from the office, North Georgia's only live online morning show. The president, are you, I know I don't, you're saying, well, you should not go on this show and publicly stoke fear in people. I'm just sharing my opinion. I'm afraid of him. I'm serious, man. This guy scares the daylights out of me. If he can stand up at a podium and he can make fun of Republican candidates that are trying to take... Why? Let me ask you a question. Why are you out there in the area of, polling? Why are you putting out numbers in the 60s? 58, 60, 70%. Why are you putting these polling numbers out that you're opposed to the Syrian refugees coming here? Okay? Why are you putting those numbers out? Okay? Increasing the number of Syrian refugees coming into this country. Do you approve or disapprove? 56% say they disapprove. 59% were independents. Overwhelming military force is the best way to defeat terrorism. Okay? Too much military force creates hatred and leads to more terrorism. Overwhelming military force is the best way to defeat terrorism is 58%. Okay? Now here's an interesting one. This is NBC. Sending additional ground troops to fight ISIS in Iraq and Syria. It's real simple. It says support and oppose. Support, 65%. Oppose, 31%. Now, if you're saying this as the American people, why won't your president say this? He scares the daylights out of me. I have to tell you, I know you don't like me coming here and saying that, but he absolutely scares the daylights out of me. FetcherNews.com, follow us, Chief at send us a message, chief@veterannews.com, or text us 706-889-9700 if you want to get involved in the conversation. Or also, you can send us, you can call in if you want to get involved, or text us at that number. Follow us on Twitter @VeteranNews, #GMFTO. Now, an interesting thing, a couple things we want to highlight. Now, Veteran News has made the AJC.com a couple times here in the last 2 weeks. 2 weeks ago, we sent the, hold on, I got it here. 2 weeks ago, I did an interview. I did an interview with Sam Snyder, and Sam Snyder is opposing the Speaker of the House, David Ralston. And I did an interview on the phone with him, and I think I asked tough questions, and I did the interview. It's online. You can hear it. But immediately the AJC picked it up, Jim Galloway, and I appreciate anytime you hear Veteran News, and it said something like, the headline was Ralston Round 2, and Round 2, Ralston Round 2. And in the second paragraph of the article, I seen where it said something like, in a recent interview with Veteran News, and it had a link to my interview. So I said, oh, okay, that's great. Now, yesterday, Jim Galloway, 14 months later, journalist, I did a segment yesterday. Did we put that up, Lonnie, yesterday? The Tisdale segment? Okay, and we named it that so people will know. 14 months later, journalist indicted for recording GOP rally in Dawson County. This is from Jim Galloway here. 14 months later, journalist indicted for recording GOP rally in Dawson County, AJC. The picture, if you go check that out this morning, the picture of the Attorney General Sam Olens and Nydia Tisdale, that is at Burt's Pumpkin Farm, and that picture. Journalist Nydia Tisdale poses with Attorney General Sam Olens shortly before her arrest, which is true, in 2014. Photo courtesy of BKP here, veterannews.com. So we're back on there. And then at the end it said Office and Dawson County Board of... It says click here for a bit of history. So when you click there for a bit of history, it goes to the original story. And of the AJC, it goes to the original story. Last Saturday began sweetly for Nydia Tisdale, journalist, and it says what did he call me, Jim Galloway? He said, Brian Pritchard, a capitalist journalist. I'm a capitalist journalist with Veteran News. So you can click there and read my story. But anyhow, Lonnie, and within 2 weeks, we made the AJC twice. Okay, veterannews.com. We've gotten up there twice. Now, here's something from the AJC this morning that'll have a lot of you concerned. This is from Greg Bluestein. Georgia Democrats, Brian Kemp's incompetence led to voter data breach. Now, Brian Kemp is the Secretary of State. Is that right, Lonnie? Is he Secretary of State, Brian Kemp? He's over elections, right? I think he has, Secretary of State Brian Kemp. I think he has aspirations of being your governor. I'm pretty sure. He was on tour. He came to Gilmer County. He went to all the counties. He's been out and about. He came to visit the sheriff and visit the district attorney and visit the election offices of most of the rural counties. He's been going out and about. Some people called it a campaign tour. Those are my words, is what I was told. I asked somebody, I said, asked an individual, I said, what is the Secretary of State, Brian Kemp, doing visiting the courthouses? And the individual said, well, he's on a campaign tour. But Georgia Democrats pounced on the data breach that led to the release of private information of more than 6 million voters. Your information is out there. Now, as media, I can get the voter roll from the state. I'm pretty sure all it is I can call today or send a request, and they will send me your name and your address, and that's it. Okay, I can get the voter roll today as media. That's public record. But calling for Nathan Deal, let's see, Georgia Democrats pounced on the data breach that led to the release of private information of more than 6 million voters, calling for Nathan Deal to order an immediate investigation into Secretary of State Brian Kemp's handling of the situation. Kemp, seen as a potential 2018 Republican contender for governor, faces a class action lawsuit filed by 2 Georgia women who said Kemp's office released the information, which includes Social Security numbers and other details, to media, political parties, and other paying subscribers for the info. Now, here's my understanding is I don't have to pay. That's my understanding as media. I don't have to pay. I don't have to pay. FetcherNews.com, I guess we have to pay for the document, whatever, $10, $12, whatever it costs to make the document. But we can get that. But if political organizations or individuals want to get voter registration, I think it's $500. I'm not for sure to get that information, but you can get it. Here's the problem is they put out Social Security numbers and other information. Let me go further into this. Democrat Party of Georgia Chair DeBose Porter said Kemp's incompetence has now put all Georgians on red alert. Added Porter, this wasn't hacking. This is government official Brian Kemp distributing the personal identification information of over 6 million Georgians. My privacy has been compromised and yours probably has as well. It's been over a month and not a single voter has been notified. It took a lawsuit for Georgians to learn of the information has been compromised. Now, Kemp's office has responded. Kemp's office blamed a clerical error. It said 12 organizations, including statewide political parties, news media organizations, and Georgia gun owners magazines received the file. There's 12 organizations that got the wrong file, okay? Several recipients, including the AJC, the Georgia GOP, the Democrat Party of Georgia, said they have already returned the file, but at least one recipient hasn't rushed to comply with the state's request. Now, the state has sent out to all 12 that got this CD. There's a CD that went out that has all of your voter information on it. If I get a CD with voter information, that is public, okay? That is public if I get information on voters. If I get that, it's public, and it would have, again, just your name and your address. It would not have your Social Security number, your telephone number, all the vital information. That was released in 12 CDs that I understand, or 12 organizations got the entire list. They asked for everybody to return them politely. Please return the information. But it's already out there. Several recipients, again, I'll repeat, including the AJC, the Georgia GOP, and the Democrat Party of Georgia, said they have already returned the file, but at least one recipient hasn't rushed to complete with the state's request. If you notice the word is request, I don't think they can make you give it back. I'm not for sure. I am out at my daughter's shooting competition, the Libertarian Party, Doug Craig said in a text when he asked if he would return the file. Going to tomorrow, maybe is what he said. That was Libertarian Party's Doug Craig said, maybe I'll return it tomorrow. In a quote, the election is 3 years out, but some conservatives are predicting the issue may not go away. And I don't think it will either. So we'll see developments here with Brian Kemp, the Georgia Secretary of State, who clerically made an error and sent 12 organizations all of your information, not just who you are, at name and rank. They sent all the information, okay, was sent out on you. So we'll see where this goes. That's from the AJC, the Political Insider this morning. We'll see where that goes. Now let's look at the website a minute before we take another break. Let's go to FetcherNews.com, and we're kind of a little bit of all over the board here, Lonnie. Do you have anything we need to bring up? Are you getting anything in that we need to bring up? Gilmer County, just going to rush through. Bobcat Nation TV. You can always check out Bobcat Nation TV to see what the young people over at the high school are doing. Gilmer Chamber of Commerce, their button is there 24/7. You can go there, see how to become a part of the chamber, a part of your local community, and also check the calendar to see what's going on in the local area at the Gilmer Chamber of Commerce. We have, let's do this. Let's schedule the ladies. I'm going to call it the ladies because I forget both of the names. I don't want to miss anybody that want to come in and talk about Light Up tomorrow. We're not going to go to L&L Beanery. We said that we were going to do that Friday, but our schedule's not permitting that because we have some things going on tomorrow, and then next week's Thanksgiving, so we're not able to put all that together fast enough, so we are going to broadcast from here. Do me a favor, get in touch with the Gilmer Chamber of Commerce and see if we can get the ladies in to talk about Light Up LJ and what's going on. That's next week, right? Is it next Saturday?
Next Friday.
It is Friday. Yeah, Friday. That's Light Up. So let's see if we can get them in tomorrow to talk about that for the weekend so you know what's coming up with that. The Gilmer Chamber, again, for anything happening there, check out the calendar. Gilmer Things to Do, if you want to get your business on the Gilmer Things to Do, please let us know there. You can get your business on there in the classifieds for a limited time only. We will have the classifieds for free. Now, Gilmer receives test scores from Milestones. We are working on the test scores from other counties now. But as you heard, and you've heard a lot of the state reports and different reports, it's all across the state. So the concerns we're addressing this morning do parallel all the other counties in the state and what they're dealing with in releasing these test scores. Now, Dr. Shanna Wilkes will be here, and she has a letter there. She has written a letter and sent it home to all of the students there. And it parallels, and I don't want to say it's a quote verbatim, but it parallels a letter that was sent out by Superintendent of Schools Mark Henson up in Fannin County explaining the details of the testing. But we're going to get further into that this morning. But again, you can read her letter to the citizens there on FetcherNews.com, Gilmer County. We have a Pet of the Week, Joe. Now, where's Joe at?
The Gilmer County Animal Shelter.
I'm telling you, Lonnie, I just can't. I want an office dog, but what do we do in the off hours with, let's say Joe was here now, and he had a nice little bed right there, and I looked down and I said, "Hey, Joe, how are you?" And he looked up and said, "I'm fine." All right, let's say all that was happening, okay?
A, I'd freak out that the dog's talking.
They always talk.
B,
listen, I live with Dr. Doolittle, okay? No, I do. I live with Dr. Doolittle. They talk to her all the time. My wife's all the time telling me what the dog said. Now I might be in trouble, and no, I don't know what you think. Do you think dogs talk? 'Cause my wife is all the time telling me what the dogs are saying.
I hope they do, because I talk to them.
You talk to them?
And one of the funny things I've always...
You hope they do, right?
Because I talk to them.
Right.
One of the funny things I've always loved is if you ever look down at your dog or you're scratching behind the ears, pet them for a few minutes and they look up at you and you see them wink one eye, I always wink back just in case it's code for something.
You did just say. So, in case it was code?
In case it was code for something.
So let me get this clear for the viewers. So you scratch the dog behind its ear, and
Yeah.
it enjoys it, and it looks up and winks.
Yeah, only when
you wink back.
I wink back.
In case it's code.
Just in case.
Okay, we got to get off that. Joe is a neutered 2-year-old, 45-pound bagel mix. He's beautiful. He's the pet of the week there on Gilmer County. Sadly, Joe is going on his 3rd week in the cage at the Gilmer County Animal Shelter. You can see the sorrow in Joe's. I'm going to quit reading that. Did you write that?
It gets hopeful.
Oh, it does? Okay. You can see the sorrow in Joe's eyes. Joe does not belong in a cage. He belongs in the woods exploring his boy, in the field hunting with his man, or on the porch with his loving mother watching the sun slowly set below. Oh my God, who wrote this?
That's every time you read a pet of the week, this is those guys. I don't write these.
You don't write these?
I don't write these. But
Okay,
I like them.
But you can check out Joe there. If we get an office dog, I don't know what to do on weekends. If I took it home, Sassafras would not be happy. We'd have a problem. She'd be saying we need to have a talk. You can always go to Gilmer County and check out the Gilmer Emergency and Fire Report. We put that up every week. And again, Team FYN Sports. And follow us on Facebook. We put up thousands of pictures there for the kids to look at different sporting events. If you have news and you know of news, please send that to chief@fetchernews.com so we can get involved. If you have, send me an email at chief@fetchernews.com. Now, I want to address some of you that I think are watching or listening this morning. I did get your emails, and I am looking into it. That's all I can say right now. I got your emails, and I am looking into it. Second, on the Nydia Tisdale story, I did get a call yesterday from the district attorney, Lee Darrow. I think his name's Lee Darrow, district attorney over in Dawson. He did call me yesterday afternoon, but as I expected, he could not comment on the case. Now, I'm just highlighting this from memory. I did ask him how he created the witness list. So tomorrow I'm going to give you a round 2 of that, or the second phase of that case over there, because I asked him point blank, how'd you create this witness list? I'm a little interested in that. So anyhow, Lee Durr of Dawson County sent me, and all of the people over there, I just want to say a shout out if you're new viewers in Dawson County. Everybody that sent me open records request information, thank you very, very much. Before I switch, it's not something I want to say I'm proud to highlight, but if you go to Dawson County now, we do have the weekly arrest reports. Those are on Dawson County now. We do have the weekly arrest reports that you can actually see there. And every week we are increasing that. You know what? If I wish we didn't do that, but everybody does them, and that's just a service we provide. Okay, back to Gilmer County. We don't have any meetings today, right, Lonnie?
The only no government meetings or anything. There is the Wake America prayer meeting. That's at 11:59 at the Park and Rec Center.
Is that today?
That's today, Thursday.
11:59, a Wake America prayer meeting, and that's where at?
The Park and Rec Center. It's today instead of next week because next week is Thanksgiving.
Okay.
And I did want to highlight everybody's looking outside. You're seeing the fog. You're seeing. You know, we had the rain, and be careful. I'm looking at a couple things. If you're going down around the 1400 block of Village Park Drive, be careful around there. There's still some flash flooding going on down there. They're waiting for the water levels to recede, get rid of some of that flood. The flood and the rains that caused a few wrecks through the night. There was one overnight at Legion Road. It's just a minor motor vehicle accident. That was overnight, so I assume they've got that clear, but still be careful. The roads are still wet. The fog is still out, so you're going to have to worry about that. And then one thing I want to highlight for tomorrow is Gilmer Arts is doing their live music. This is part of their best series, and this is going to be the acoustic blends tomorrow, November the 20th at 7 p.m. You can get over to Gilmer Arts Center, and they will have their live concert with acoustic blends.
Okay, and what we've learned this morning is Lonnie, what we have learned this morning, the takeaway. I always love the takeaway. The takeaway this morning is that we know Lonnie feels that the dog may have code. So he wants to make sure if they have code, he complies with the code. Now, if you go to FetcherNews.com, you'll see a poll. Go down there. We want to hear from you. We ask you how you shop for Christmas. All finished and wrapped in advance. Give to the Human Fund. You have to know what that is to even vote for it. Shop on Christmas Eve or shop on Black Friday. Now, if you're all finished and wrapped in advance, that is actually winning the poll right now. But I'm probably not hanging out with you because that's just not me. Give to the Human Fund is coming in a close second. I voted for that. Shop on Christmas Eve. But here's the one I don't believe is running for a shop on Black Friday. I'm going to say nicely, I don't believe you because I go to Walmart on Black Friday and I see all of you there. So I know this is not true. I know you're just not coming clean. I'm gonna do this. It's really funny. It's really funny. I go to Black Friday, right? And I'm there and I'm at Walmart. I hate to give them free advertising. I'm there and it's packed, right? A lot of this is really funny. And there's ladies, and never the guys. You can get mad, never the guys. But there's ladies that'll look at me and say, BKP, if you take my picture and put it online. I'm like, no, I won't do that.
You know what they're gonna say? You start getting on to them about Black Friday. You're gonna see them there, and you'll be like, you voted in the poll that you went over in advance, and they're just gonna look at you like, look, it's not Christmas, is it? Black Friday's still in advance. Yeah. They're gonna be wrapped in advance.
So anyhow, we'd like for you to vote on the poll. I am BKP. It's 8:31. We have to get into our state and national. We're going to come back and we're going to give you a highlight in Fannin and a highlight in Pickens, and we're going to prepare for our next guest, Dr. Shanna Wilkes, Superintendent of Schools in Gilmer County, will be our next guest this morning, and we're going to be talking test scores. That has been a hot topic around the state. And again, we'll be back right after these brief messages. But before we go, if you'd like to advertise on FetcherNews.com, get in touch with us. So if you'd like to get a commercial on the show, get your advertisement on the website, or get me to read your shout out here, get in touch with us today. Don't forget, you can have lunch in Gilmer County off the square at the 1907 restaurant located off the square in Ellijay. The UPS store in East Ellijay is offering notary and tax services, packing and shipping supplies, passport photos, laminating and binding services, and make sure you bring in your Gilmer Arts tickets for an additional 5% off selected services like printing, mailboxes, and copies. North Georgia Diamond promotional code FetcherNews.com. That's North Georgia Diamond, located in the East Ellijay Walmart Shopping Center. Mattress overstocked. Go see Gary, Richard, or Rhonda, the mattress lady, for the best mattress at the best price. They truly want to help you sleep better. That's Mattress Overstock. They're located in the East Ellijay Walmart Shopping Center. And don't forget, promotional code is FetcherNews.com. 706-698-7378. Now look, you're getting into the holiday season. Sometimes in the holiday season, you've saved all year to make that big purchase. A lot of people call a mattress a big purchase. You've saved all year for that, okay? And so you need all the discounts you can get. Mattress overstocked, FetcherNews.com. Or 706-698-7378. Or come in for a great deal. East Ellijay Walmart Shopping Center. Ellijay Fitness, 379 River Street, Ellijay. That's 706-636-2348. We'll be back after these brief messages. We'll talk about some meetings that are going on in Fannin and Pickens. And then we'll discuss a little bit. What do you think? I don't know. Will Paul Ryan stand up to the president? Should we stand up to the president? Is it time? I'm telling you something. This guy scares the daylights out of me. He just does. Will Paul Ryan? Will the Senate? I think Democrats are scared to death. I'm serious. You don't want to talk about it. They were okay with him being a progressive, a liberal, but even Democrats don't want to lose the country. They don't want, and I'm not saying the president wants a terrorist attack. That would be wrong out of me to say that. But his actions are allowing it Because they've already set the stage. If there's a terrorist attack, it's the Republicans' fault. They came out yesterday and said that. Yeah, that's basically what they said. The language, the hurtful, angry language of the Republicans just, it just encourages Islam, radical Islam. Hey, I'm going to go to break. I'll be back after these brief messages. I'm your host, BKP.
Only one thing beats a day's price on a new Chevy. It's our pre-owned price. Now at the Days Chevy Jasper Pre-Owned Supercenter. Save thousands off original MSRP on the best selection of pre-owned vehicles in the North Georgia mountains. Cars, trucks, SUVs, even luxury vehicles. Many with factory warranty. And all thousands below new car prices. We can even help rebuild your credit. Save thousands today at the Days Chevy Jasper Pre-Owned Supercenter. The North Georgia mountains big volume, low price leader.
Better days ahead, Days Chevrolet.
Find new roads.
Hi, I'm Rhonda the Mattress Lady, and this is my husband Gary, owners of Mattress Overstocked in LJ next to Walmart.
And we want to earn your business. From the time you walk in our door to the time we deliver your new mattress to your door, you will see the difference. Our selection and prices are the best in North Georgia, and customer service is our top priority. So y'all come on in and let us help you find the right mattress at the right price. That's Mattress Overstocked in LJ next to Walmart.
LJ Tire Company since 1955. With a huge range of tires at the lowest price and fast, hassle-free service, LJ Tire is all you need every time. LJ Tire carries only the top brands in the industry: Cooper, Michelin, Mickey Thompson, Pirelli, and Yokohama. Stop in and let AES certified mechanics change your oil today. Life doesn't slow down for car maintenance, and LJ Tire won't either. If your car is tired of its tires, go to LJ Tire.
I'm Sheriff Dane Kirby, and I'll stand up for you.
I'm Stacy Nicholson, Sheriff of Gilmer County, and I will stand up for you.
Stand up and speak out. No matter how rich, cool, talented you believe yourself to be, how you treat people ultimately tells all. I am Allison Sosby, District Attorney, and I'll stand up for you.
All-new Schottenkirk Ford in Jasper. Highway 515 South, Jasper. SchottenkirkFordJasper.com.
What you gonna do with all that junk?
El Rey and LJ.
El Rey Mexican Restaurant.
Family owned and operated, and a local favorite for families, parties, and meetings.
Great prices.
Friendly service and delicious Mexican cuisine.
Patio dining available.
Come sing in Carlos's Cantina every Friday 9 to 1.
Eat in or take away.
Same location for 14 years. Open 7 days at the corner of Maddox Drive and 515. North Georgia's favorite Mexican cuisine. El Rey and LJ.
Let it ride during the Lucky 7 sales event at Lifetime Kia. Come try your luck in the money machine. Yes, come take a test drive and you get a chance to grab for cash in the money machine. Plus, shop big time savings on every vehicle in stock. And remember, Kias come with a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty. And Lifetime Kia will extend that warranty for as long as you own it. Come try your luck in the money machine and experience the savings at Lifetime Kia.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds. Come on in to view the area's largest selection of fine jewelry at North Georgia Diamond. All repairs and designs are done on site by our jewelers. And North Georgia Diamond has the lowest prices on loose diamonds. You can also sell your gold, silver, and coins at North Georgia Diamond between Walmart and Lowe's in East LJ. Locally owned by Bill and Allison Craig, North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
How'd we get CCR twice today? Hit that again. I one CCR in a day is enough for me.
Cream, bring a little
I went to
sunshine
commercial.
into your life.
No, it didn't. Oh, no, it didn't. Hold on. Cream? Heard him say what? Oh, I didn't hear that. Oh, okay. I didn't hear that, but you won't believe that. Okay, cream. I had chips. I was eating chips during the break. I got chips on my chops. I got chip chops.
Those weren't just chips. You can't lump those in with regular chips.
Don't put my business on the street, Lonnie. Hey, I'm back. BKP. Do we have? Do we understand up front that we might have a guest? They're expecting. Okay. All right. Hey, I'm your host, BKP. Good morning from the office. North Georgia's only live online morning show. It is Thursday, November 19th. This Thursday morning, you're already up to 60 degrees. The high today, or 59. We'll just say it at 59. We haven't hit 60 yet. But the high today will be 68. It'll be a beautiful sunny day as soon as this fog clears out this Thursday morning, November 19th. I like to remind you, I had coffee with a liberal at Starbucks in a red cup. Oh, I love telling you that story. Just love it. We're going to have, in about 20 minutes, we're looking at about 20 minutes, we're going to have Dr. Shanna Wilkes. She's the superintendent of schools at Gilmer County Schools. We're going to be talking more. We've focused a lot on the milestone testing. We have focused a lot on that this morning. We're going to be talking about the total school system and some of the goals. Now, earlier today we had high school principal Eric Maffei was in here earlier today, and we talked about some of the goals. We're going to talk to Superintendent Shanna Wilkes about how did they come to these numbers, how did they agree on what they could achieve this year, what is the difference this year in the testing. A lot of you have questions out there concerning this testing, and it's been on all the state media, all the state TV channels of what happened with this testing. Some people are just, they lay in wait in the bushes. I call them, they lay in wait in the bushes, and they pounce on any kind of negative news they can. Now, I know what you're saying is you're saying, well, 1 minute you're talking about refugees in Syria. That's not negative news. That's the truth. That's the truth, okay? And then the next minute you're talking about, test scores. Let me tell you something. I do not like negative news. I don't like negative news. I know we have to bring you information, but when I see people just waiting and laying for negative news to spin it a certain way, it bothers me. Anyhow, we're going to give them a full opportunity and then let you decide what you think of the testing. Let you decide what you think of how the school system is going. We will say things in what we call our opinion section, but that's not right now. Our goal is to get information. Don't forget, pull it up there. Now, before I go to Fannin, we're all over the books here, but before I go to Fannin or Gilmer or Pickens, Donald Trump says he's at a rally, and he has a heckler. And here's the thing about Trump. You don't have to like the guy. You don't have to like the guy. Now, I like what Ted Cruz said, and we can get into that later. Ted Cruz has called the president out and wants to debate him on the Syrian refugees and the fact that the president is trying to make it look like that we don't want orphans here, that we won't take care of the... You know what? Oh, man, I've got to stay calm, Lonnie, because I want to be, I want to be a good host for the superintendent of schools, and I'm trying to stay calm. But you know what? Let me look at the camera and tell you something. Are you attending a church? Are you going to any churches right now that are putting together the shoe boxes? Right? What are they? Operation Shoebox.
Christmas Child.
Christmas, right. Okay. Now, that started some years ago, and now, even if you don't in America, and this is one of many, so don't say, well, BKP, you forgot this one, and you forgot that. I understand. I'm with you. I'm not leaving out anything. I'm just using this for an example because we're getting close to the holidays. Even if you don't attend a church, you choose not to attend a church for whatever reason, a lot of Americans out there are buying the products that they want to put in these shoe boxes. We send toothbrushes, we send toothpaste, we send hygiene products, but then we mostly send, some coloring books, some crayons. I mean, there's a little toy. But it's Operation Shoebox. And thousands are sent all around the world, okay? We have doctors that give their time and travel all over the world to give time to do operations on children, poor children that don't have hospitals. They will give their time all the way around the world. America is the most giving, loving, except for the Clintons. If you're giving to the Clinton Foundation for the, earthquake victims, you probably have Bill Clinton stealing that money and hopping on, going down there to Fantasy Island with his friend. I got sidetracked, right? Anyhow, Americans are the most giving, loving, caring people. We take in the children. We take in children. I can't say enough. I could spend over and over and over and over and over. And how dare this guy go to another country and look back over here and say the world is watching us. Really? Was the world watching us all the places that the Red Cross has been? Was the world watching us? Oh, the list goes on. I can't get sidetracked. Is the world watching us when millions and millions of dollars have been given to earthquake victims around the world? Disaster relief. Was the world watching us? Do you really think, Mr. President, that we are concerned in the United States of America about taking care of a 3-year-old orphan? Really? Okay. Bada bing, bada boom. If you don't like Donald Trump, you just don't like him. But the one thing, let me tell you about this guy. Donald Trump does not, in any way whatsoever, go out and tell her to wait. We'll go on a break and come back. Our guest is here, so we're going to take that. But Donald Trump, and you come back, Lonnie, because I want you to play this clip. Donald Trump doesn't care whether you like him or not. He doesn't script. He does not script his. Rallies. He doesn't say who can come in, who can't come in. He points to, if somebody heckles, he takes it. He takes them on no matter what. Now, this guy says this yesterday. We're going to play this heckler. We're going to come back. We're going to go to break because our guest is here and she may have to go off to another meeting. So we don't want to hold our guest, Dr. Shanna Wilk, Superintendent of Schools. So, Lonnie, play this Donald Trump clip from yesterday.
Out of the labor force. We have 50 million people in poverty. We have 43 million, and now it's actually going to be probably closer to 50 million people on food stamps. And I'll tell you what, if we had a real, hello. You know, it's amazing. I mentioned food stamps, and that guy who's seriously overweight went crazy. He went crazy. Amazing. Amazing. That's an amazing sight.
It's amazing.
You know that
it's amazing. You mentioned food stamps. I'm going to tell you, you can't make this stuff up. This guy says stuff. It's hilarious. I'm your host, BKP. Good morning from the office. North Georgia's only live online morning show. When we come back, we're going to take a brief break. Stay with us. When we come back, we're going to have Dr. Shanna Wilkes, Superintendent of Schools of Gilmer County. And this is going to be a continuation of this morning with the principal, Eric McPhee from the high school, of trying to get a clear understanding for you, the parents out there, the citizens, people that have been concerned about milestone test results. You've heard it all over the news. We wanted to give them an opportunity to clear some information up and discuss what's going on in the school system. So we'll be back after these brief messages with our guest. I'm your host, BKP. Good morning from the office.
Only one thing beats a day's price on a new Chevy. It's our pre-owned price. Now at the Days Chevy Jasper Pre-Owned Super Center. Save thousands off original MSRP on the best selection of pre-owned vehicles in the North Georgia mountains. Cars, trucks, SUVs, even luxury vehicles. Many with factory warranty. And all thousands below new car prices. We can even help rebuild your credit. Save thousands today at the Days Chevy Jasper Pre-Owned Super Center. The North Georgia mountains big volume, low price leader.
Better days ahead, Days Chevrolet.
Find new roads.
Hi, I'm Rhonda the Mattress Lady, and this is my husband Gary, owners of Mattress Overstocked in LJ next to Walmart.
And we want to earn your business. From the time you walk in our door to the time we deliver your new mattress to your door, you will see the difference. Our selection and prices are the best in North Georgia, and customer service is our top priority. So y'all come on in and let us help you find the right mattress at the right price. That's Mattress Overstocked in LJ next to Walmart.
LJ Tire Company since 1955. With a huge range of tires at the lowest price and fast, hassle-free service, LJ Tire is all you need every time. LJ Tire carries only the top brands in the industry: Cooper, Michelin, Mickey Thompson, Pirelli, and Yokohama. Stop in and let AES certified mechanics change your oil today. Life doesn't slow down for car maintenance, and LJ Tire won't either. If your car is tired of its tires, go to LJ Tire.
I'm Sheriff Dane Kirby, and I'll stand up for you.
I'm Stacy Nicholson, Sheriff of Gilmer County, and I will stand up for you.
Stand up and speak out. No matter how rich, cool, talented you believe yourself to be, how you treat people ultimately tells all. I am Allison Sosby, District Attorney, and I'll stand up for you.
New Schottenkirk Ford in Jasper. Highway 515 South, Jasper. SchottenkirkFordJasper.com.
What you gonna do with all that junk?
El Rey and LJ.
El Rey Mexican Restaurant.
Family owned and operated, and a local favorite for families, parties, and meetings.
Great prices.
Friendly service and delicious Mexican cuisine.
Patio dining available.
Come sing in Carlos's Cantina every Friday 9 to 1.
Eat in or take away.
Same location for 14 years. Open 7 days at the corner of Maddox Drive and 515. North Georgia's favorite Mexican cuisine.
El Rey.
El Rey and LJ.
Let it ride during the Lucky 7 sales event at Lifetime Kia. Come try your luck in the Money Machine. Yes, come take a test drive and you get a chance to grab for cash in the Money Machine. Plus, shop big-time savings on every vehicle in stock. And remember, Kias come with a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty. And Lifetime Kia will extend that warranty for as long as you own it. Come try your luck in the Money Machine and experience the savings at Lifetime Kia.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds. Come on in to view the area's largest selection of fine jewelry at North Georgia Diamond. All repairs and designs are done on site by our jewelers. And North Georgia Diamond has the lowest prices on loose diamonds. You can also sell your gold, silver, and coins at North Georgia Diamond between Walmart and Lowe's in East LJ. Locally owned by Bill and Allison Craig, North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
And we're back. Good morning from the office. I am BKP, your host, and you're watching or listening to North Georgia's only live online morning show. Again, at this point, getting close to 9 o'clock, we always want to thank and welcome our new viewers, because every day we know we have new viewers. We're happy this morning. We're doing a segment on the milestone testing. We're talking about that. You have seen out there, I call it negative headlines, and the Atlanta news, all breaking news about testing scores and so forth. So immediately when we heard that here at FetcherNews.com and started getting information, we wanted to make sure we got you information of what truly to look for as parents and the community in these test scores. This morning we started our show with the Gilmer County Principal, Eric McPhee. Just to let you know, we are going to clip these segments, put them together, and put those online. They'll be later this afternoon. Lonnie will have those up online. I want to welcome with me now Dr. Shanna Wilkes. Did I get that correct?
That is correct.
Dr. Wilkes, thank you for joining us this morning. Dr. Wilkes is the Superintendent of Schools of Gilmer County. First of all, welcome to Gilmer County. I know you've been here for several months, but you and I have never sat down and talked. How are you enjoying being a bobcat or a lady cat? How are you how are you enjoying Gilmer County schools and getting used to the students? And
I love being here in Gilmer County. I love being a bobcat. It has not been a huge transition from where I came from. I came from another mountain county here in North Georgia. So it already feels like home. We've received a tremendous welcome from the community and from the staff and students at the schools, my family and I have.
I think the citizens, in fact, I say this, I do think the residents of Gilmer County are welcoming people. They just are.
Truly are.
And so we welcome you also here. We want to get right into the milestone testing. And we want to give you an opportunity to maybe, when I say clear some things up, I'm watching headline news. I get a phone call that says, you better get over to the school and start getting some information because test results came in, and boy, this is the first phone call I get. Man, are they bad, And then I start seeing all the openings of the Atlanta news and all the, I call them negative headlines, trying to draw the viewer in. But the testing is not apples for apples, is it?
It most certainly is not apples per apples. Georgia went to standards a few years ago that were the adapted Common Core standards, the Common Core Georgia Performance Standards. Then last school year, towards the end of the year, those standards became the Georgia Standards of Excellence. Still worded the exact same way, just with a different nomenclature for each of the individual standards. The standards didn't change from when they were Georgia Common Core Georgia Performance Standards or College and Career Georgia Performance Standards to the Georgia Standards of Excellence. Essentially, same standards. we had a test called the Georgia Criterion Reference Competency Test, or CRCT. That test, according to the state, tested the Common Core Georgia Performance Standards, or the Georgia Standards of Excellence, as they were later named. We had that test for several years, and our students were performing at a desirable level. And then last year, the state rolled out a new test, which was also designed here in the state of Georgia on the exact same standards. We administered that test. The first administration was at the end of last fall semester, because as you're aware, our high school is on a block schedule. So our students take an entire course in the fall, are tested, take another course in the spring, and are tested. Our grades 3 through 8, they take the test at the end of the year because their courses are all year long. So they were all administered this test last year. Now, over 6 months later, we're getting the scores from those tests, which were on the same standards as CRCT, just a new test, and suddenly our levels of proficiency have dropped. Across the state, 30% fewer students achieved proficiency on the new test on the same standards. So essentially the bar has risen.
I think a question there, and I was talking to, I've read the state school superintendent Richard Wood's press release, and he talks about, raising the bar. And, the test set a higher bar, and he talks about proficiency. My question would be, what concerns should parents have? Now, if you got 80% on this last year and you got 31% this year, the bar is raised, but what concerns, when I say concerns, should parents have? Is this showing us as a state that we've got some work to do?
We have got work to do according to those at the state level who are setting that bar. But we have to keep in mind that this bar is measuring Georgia state standards that were adopted by the same people who are creating the test and setting the bar. My concern, as far as our school system goes and our students, is, are we challenging our students every day? Are we providing them with the instruction that they need in their classrooms every day? And when I walk around the halls of Gilmer County schools, I'm seeing quality instruction going on. If we did not perform where we would like to on this test, my initial thought would be that we might need to emphasize different standards, that this test emphasized different aspects of the standards than what we emphasized in the classroom, and we need to go back and reassess to make sure that we are emphasizing and stressing the standards that are most key. But I don't want to ever say that I want our teachers teaching to a test. I want us providing quality instruction every day to our students. So as a parent, as a school administrator, when I look at this test provides me information to set a long-term goal. 6 months late, it doesn't give us a lot of information of what to change instructionally in the classroom.
Well, let me ask you.
We can't see the test questions. We can't go back and say, 30% of our kids missed this question. Why did they miss it? It doesn't give us a lot of data to go back and use instructionally in the classroom. It gives us information of basically where we rank. Then we have to go back and look at our instruction in the classroom, but we really can't use this to dig very deep into.
Then what's the usefulness of it? Now, and let me ask this in two parts. What's the usefulness if you can't take the data and use it to move forward and adjust or focus on areas, if you can't find your troubled areas with the data? Because I like data, so I like to see the data.
I do too. I like useful
but
data.
Last year is everybody. Let's see. No, I got to be careful with my words. No, this is not counted against anybody. It's
No,
not
it's
counted
held
against.
harmless.
It's not counted against held harmless.
Mhm.
Exactly against the students for graduation. It's not counted against the teachers for evaluations.
Right.
It's not counted against the school system.
Well, when we say it's not held against the school system, it does factor into our CCRPI score.
Okay.
The grade that the school gets, we still get that score. We are still judged by that score. So when we say hold harmless, the students, it's not used for promotion or retention, and it's not used for teacher evaluation, but it essentially is still being used by the state to give each district in Georgia a score as a component of the College and Career Readiness Performance Index, or CCRPI. Every school in Georgia gets a grade, if you will, according to CCRPI.
So the school system is actually, it's registered in the school system within the state and looked at, but held harmless were the students and the evaluations for the teachers. How are they going? Now this year it's not. So let me just ask this: if you're not getting back, and I'm not saying the testing is bad, I'm leaving that to the professionals out there. But if you're not getting back the information this time in a timely fashion where you can make adjustments, and we're clear into December.
Right.
Okay, let me put it this way.
If
Next
this
month is
information were
testing, right?
timely, yes, essentially the students have 2 weeks at the high school and left in a block course before they're tested again with the same
but
test.
from the time period they took the last test to this test, and the scores getting revealed, and the teacher in the classroom saying, I've been from here to here, and I've not worked on this data.
Right.
Am I going in the right direction?
Yes. So according to the state, once we administer at the end of this semester, and within the next month, essentially, we will have the scores back the beginning of January for that.
But the scores you're getting back count this time.
Well,
that's what I understand. You got the 1 year. I understand this year counts teachers' evaluation. So if I'm a teacher, please don't. I'm just thinking.
Yes.
If I'm a teacher and I was teaching this class last year, and I administered this test, and then it went off, and I was waiting for data for this year, and you come to me and say, well, we're not evaluating you or holding it against your teacher evaluations, because teacher evaluations have changed.
Teacher evaluations have changed tremendously.
Tremendously. Exactly.
Yes.
So if I'm a teacher in a classroom and I'm saying to myself, well, I've had no data, I've not prepared or been able to adjust, whatever. These are just my words, okay? But now this counts. So I don't know I don't know where I'm going with that, or if I'm hitting on some of the right direction.
No, I think you are. At this point, these that we will take upcoming are not hold harmless. I would be surprised if that didn't change based on the fact that we set the baseline. We just got back that information.
Right. So 2 weeks. December is a big testing month.
It is. At the high school.
At the high school.
At the high school only.
Right.
At the high school only. And you've got to understand too, when we say these tests and we're doing these big tests, only 30% of the course numbers that we assign have these tests. 70% of our courses do not have an end of grade or end of course test. Does not have a milestone.
So at this time, and I'll move past that, at this time, the state says that this year's testing is applicable to performance for teachers and students at this time.
Right.
But you can't say definitely, but after further review and some talk down in Atlanta, it could change. But right now, you have to look at it as it's applicable, right?
Yes.
What are some of the things, there's 2 major things I want to do before, and I know you got to go to the next meeting, you're so busy and I can't. We're talking with Dr. Shanna Wilkes, Superintendent of Schools of Gilmer County. I know you got to go to the next meeting, and it's always the next thing with your busy schedule. 2 things. What would you want to make sure parents of Gilmer County understand or get out of these test results that you want to convey? I've seen your press release that you put out, seen your letter and others, but what would you personally want to say to those parents out there that are following these scores and are hearing news reports that they've dropped?
What I would want parents to understand is that this is not an apples to apples comparison. This is certainly an apples to oranges comparison, if you will. And the scores have, quote, dropped across the state, but it's because the bar has been raised so high that across the state of Georgia, our scores are looking somewhere around 30% of our students are listed as proficient according to this bar.
Right.
I think I would take it for what it is. If I look at our students, if I just look at students who were in, let's say, third grade in the 13-14 school year, last year they would be in the fourth grade, correct? So those students, according to our state, on the standards, they were 89.8% of those students were listed as proficient, but on this year's test, only 55% were listed as proficient. I think you have to see it for what it is. The bar was raised. We want to just set our goal that we beat the state. We beat the state by at least 3%. That's our goal, is that we want to achieve higher than the rest of the state of Georgia. And so it gives us a goal to set, a goal to work towards in our classrooms, and we will use it for that, but we will continue to provide good instruction for the students of Gilmer County.
Let me. When you say goals, let's elaborate on that just a little bit, because Principal McPhee, when he was here this morning, his words were, and I say in quote, before you came on board, he said there was a little bit of, well, quote would be exact, but a little bit of floundering. The system was floundering a little bit, and he had high remarks concerning the direction you're going,
of goals,
and that you have a goal-oriented type system. How did you come up to these? How did you get these goals? What did you guys do to say we want 40? It came in 31%. We want 41%. How did you guys create the goals or come to the numbers that you want to achieve?
Like I said, we want to achieve higher than the average across the state of Georgia. So we took our achievement, we compared it to the state. If we were below the state, then we added 3 percentage points to the state average to get a goal for us. If we were above the state average, we added 3 percentage points to where we were on this test this year to set our goal. We wanted to make sure that we set goals that were attainable, but goals that were higher than the state or higher than our achievement overall.
All right, let me ask you one more thing. Okay.
And when I say percentage points, I'm speaking of the percentage of our students who are considered proficient by this bar that was set on this test.
I think when I say all, I call it the 515 corridor. I think all North Georgia has some great school systems.
I agree.
Very great school systems.
I agree completely.
I think, and this is my opinion, clearly my opinion, I think we still, in North Georgia, are the closest thing to having still localized education.
Absolutely.
That's my opinion. And that would be my hope, is that I'm very clear that I want to return power to the local school system. So that's me. I get away from opinion. Lonnie, you have to give me the no more opinion sign up there. In June of 2014, this came out, Georgia announced its new testing systems. This is from the Georgia Department of Education. The Georgia Department of Education will implement a new testing system, the Georgia Milestones Assessment System, during the 2014-15 academic year. The new system will replace CRCT and the EOCT. Georgia Milestones will be aligned to the Common Core Georgia Performance Standards. Now, the toughest question
They've changed the name of that
Okay,
before the
that's
test. Now it's
that's
the Georgia Standards of Excellence.
Okay,
Because
so
there was, in the media, there was a lot of negativity
Right, that's-
towards Common Core.
Right.
A lot of misconceptions about Common Core as well. But the name was changed to Georgia Standards of Excellence.
Okay, since this came out, it was changed. I know that. How much of this test scores coming out will people try to parallel with? We tried to tell you this would happen with Common Core. I mean, you know it's out there.
It is.
Dr.
It is.
Wilkes. You know it's out
there.
there.
It totally is. And there are tremendous misconceptions about Common Core standards. I see it all the time on social media. This is Common Core math, and this is a new, this is how you teach it with Common Core. Common Core standards or Georgia Standards of Excellence are simply standards. A student in this grade will be able to divide a 3-digit number by a 2-digit number. Those methods that we see on social media are teaching methods in the classroom. They're not what those standards are. It's a method of teaching. So I'm not sure what your question was with that.
Well, no, I guess my question is I know there's a lot of controversy where Common Core is concerned, and I will tell you, we have voted here, Lonnie and I have, and the official math of FetcherNews.com is shaking his head, is the math that we use to get us back and forth to the moon, right? You don't want to, he won't own up, he won't up to it. But that's our joke, is that's our, we don't, I don't know common this, I don't know dividing that. We're implementing the math that got us back and forth to the moon. So all the things I see, I truly don't understand, and I don't try to make a statement that I do understand them, okay?
The standards themselves look very similar to the standards prior to Common Core. The methods of teaching is where the differences come in. Sometimes with the different methods of teaching a child how to divide a 3-digit number by a 2-digit number. That's the stuff you see in the social media, not the standards themselves. But there are misconceptions where people confuse a method of teaching with what the standard says.
Okay. Well, I just wanted to ask you because, as you well know, that there'll be a lot of sensationalizing.
Of course there will be.
Of how these scores are, we told you so, this is parallel to what we've seen coming. I don't know. My goal this morning at FetcherNews.com, our goal has been with you and the principal is to give you an opportunity to put all the information out you can and let people make the decision.
And I appreciate that.
And that's really, what have we not talked about today in the school system, whether it be the testing results that are coming out now, or anything in the school system that you'd like to share in our video we're going to put out today?
Like I said, when I walk around the halls of Gilmer County schools, I'm seeing quality teaching. I'm seeing quality instruction. If our scores were not above the state in an area, I think it's simply the result of the test emphasized a standard that might have been a standard that we didn't emphasize as much, that we may need to place some more emphasis, because it all boils down to where the emphasis was placed in the test questions. I truly believe. I don't believe that it is indicative if we score lower on our school system as a whole. I think students in Gilmer County are getting a good quality education, and that the board here in Gilmer and our staff truly has the interest of our students at heart. So we're going to take these scores, we're going to set long-range goals, but our focus is going to truly be on the instruction that's going on in the classroom. And we will, of course, revisit the standards to make sure our emphasis is placed where it needs to be. But overall, we are focused on our students and on what's going on in the classrooms.
Are the local county superintendent of schools, are you involved in the conversation in Atlanta as far as the data, when you got it, what you're doing with it, and hey, we got data 2 weeks in advance of testing. Are you guys the local? Are they bringing you into the conversation in Atlanta?
I have not been asked into the conversation in Atlanta in my role as superintendent here. I have not gotten a lot of input. I'm not sure if the previous administration, with me just coming in July, I felt like in my previous role in another district that was in curriculum, I had a little bit louder voice with things that were going on because I was a race to the top coordinator.
Right.
So I was involved pretty heavily with different committees at the State Department. As far as being a superintendent at our Bootstrap conference in the fall, there was mention of the test, but not a lot of opportunity for me individually to give input.
See, I think after this and after all the big media in Atlanta and a lot of the print editions run their headlines, I think the state, all superintendents, there should be something sent out to all. In my opinion, again, all superintendents should get some kind of voice on where you stand in your local level, because you're the conduit to them of what you're hearing from your parents, of the students in your community. So that'd be.
I agree.
And leave it to me. I always give a little of my opinion.
That's okay.
Dr.
We're all
Hill,
entitled,
I've
right?
enjoyed it so much, and I want to
I have as
apologize
well.
to you in front of our audience for not coming over and saying hello and welcoming you to
Not
the
a
area.
problem.
But you could share with me and all the people. I cringe, but Lonnie does a good job.
Lonnie does a fantastic job
God. Ooh.
of covering
Oh,
our
I'm
board
cringing.
meetings and coming to me when, there's something that's unclear. He will stop by and we will sit down, if it's me and another director, and go through and answer any questions. We want to make sure that we're communicating very openly with the public and being transparent, and I appreciate you providing us a platform and opportunity to do that.
Lonnie
in
does.
a fair
Lonnie
and balanced
does.
way.
I thank you so much. Lonnie does come back, and if we're not clear on things, that's our goal, is to come over. And I want to extend to you a big thank you, because when we don't understand something, you've been very open to sit down and clear that up.
Absolutely.
So we can get the
I would
information
much
out.
rather get that clarity than misinformation be communicated. And so I feel like we have a great relationship with you guys and with Lonnie as our correspondent.
I can't finish any kind of interview whatsoever that has to do with the school system in any way whatsoever, at least without saying football. So I said football,
Okay.
so it's over. I have to.
One question one of our viewers wanted to ask.
Yes.
Is it appropriate?
Yeah.
All right.
It's just a generic.
Okay.
The method that's put into place now, where did the method come from? Where does the new method come from?
And this is from one of our viewers?
Yeah.
The method put in place today from one of our viewers. Where did it
The
originate?
method. Are they speaking of when I was discussing the standard versus a method of teaching?
I think it's talking about the general
The testing method? Okay.
And the new standards.
I guess who wrote that? This new testing?
The new test, the Georgia Milestones, was written by Georgia. And that's one issue that I have a harder time accepting, is that it was written in Georgia based on Georgia standards, and then the bar was set in Georgia. As a parent of a kindergartner, I want to see information. I have a 6th grader and a kindergartner. I want to know where my students rank nationally. I would like to see a nationally normed assessment rather than an assessment strictly on the Georgia standards that were written in Georgia, in Atlanta. Test was written there. The bar was set there. So as far as where it originated from, Georgia.
Okay, we're going to end with that. I am BKP, your host here. Good morning from the office. North Georgia's only live online morning show. We thank you for that question. We thank all of our viewers and listeners out there. We appreciate you. Again, we've been here with Dr. Shanna Wilkes, Superintendent of Schools for Gilmer County. But we've been trying throughout the whole North Georgia region to answer a lot of your questions concerning the testing results that you received from your students here on the milestones testing. And again, we thank them. Now, if you didn't get a chance, or you seen this and you said, I want somebody else to watch it, obviously, we're going to clip this together. The principal interview this morning with Mr. McPhee and Dr. Wilkes, we're going to clip them together, put it under one heading, and Lonnie will have it up about midday. You can share it around the internet. We hope we've been able to help clarify some things for you out there in the community. I'm going to take a brief break. Dr. Wilkes, thank you very much.
Pleasure.
We're going to take a brief break, and when we return, we won't have Dr. Wilkes here, so then I can get a little controversial, okay? So we'll come back from this break in just a minute. BKP.
Only one thing beats a day's price on a new Chevy. It's our pre-owned price. Now at the Days Chevy Jasper Pre-Owned Supercenter. Save thousands off original MSRP on the best selection of pre-owned vehicles in the North Georgia mountains. Cars, trucks, SUVs, even luxury vehicles. Many with factory warranty. And all thousands below new car prices. We can even help rebuild your credit. Save thousands today at the Days Chevy Jasper Pre-Owned Supercenter. The North Georgia mountains big volume, low price leader.
Better days ahead, Days Chevrolet.
Find new roads.
Hi, I'm Rhonda the Mattress Lady, and this is my husband Gary, owners of Mattress Overstocked in LJ next to Walmart.
And we want to earn your business. From the time you walk in our door to the time we deliver your new mattress to your door, you will see the difference. Our selection and prices are the best in North Georgia, and customer service is our top priority. So y'all come on in and let us help you find the right mattress at the right price. That's Mattress Overstocked in LJ next to Walmart.
LJ Tire Company since 1955. With a huge range of tires at the lowest price and fast, hassle-free service, LJ Tire is all you need every time. LJ Tire carries only the top brands in the industry: Cooper, Michelin, Mickey Thompson, Pirelli, and Yokohama. Stop in and let AES certified mechanics change your oil today. Life doesn't slow down for car maintenance, and LJ Tire won't either. If your car is tired of its tires, go to LJ Tire.
I'm Sheriff Dane Kirby, and I'll stand up for you.
I'm Stacy Nicholson, Sheriff of Gilmer County, and I will stand up for you.
Stand up and speak out. No matter how rich, cool, talented you believe yourself to be, how you treat people ultimately tells all. I am Allison Sosby, District Attorney, and I'll stand up for you.
All-new Schottenkirk Ford in Jasper. Highway 515 South, Jasper. SchottenkirkFordJasper.com.
What you gonna do with all that junk?
El Rey and LJ.
El Rey Mexican Restaurant.
Family owned and operated, and a local favorite for families, parties, and meetings.
Great prices.
Friendly service and delicious Mexican cuisine.
Patio dining available.
Come sing in Carlos's Cantina every Friday 9 to 1.
Eat in or take away.
Same location for 14 years. Open 7 days at the corner of Maddox Drive and 515. North Georgia's favorite Mexican cuisine. El Rey and LJ.
Let it ride during the Lucky 7 sales event at Lifetime Kia. Come try your luck in the money machine. Yes, come take a test drive and you get a chance to grab for cash in the money machine. Plus, shop big time savings on every vehicle in stock. And remember, Kias come with a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty. And Lifetime Kia will extend that warranty for as long as you own it. Come try your luck in the money machine and experience the savings at Lifetime Kia.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds. Come on in to view the area's largest selection of fine jewelry at North Georgia Diamond. All repairs and designs are done on site by our jewelers. And North Georgia Diamond has the lowest prices on loose diamonds. You can also sell your gold, silver, and coins at North Georgia Diamond between Walmart and Lowe's in East Ellijay. Locally owned by Bill and Allison Craig, North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
Are we back? Would you stop with the CCR?
I just go through.
That's the third time today I've come out of break with CCR.
I think the music service is trying to tell you something.
I'm okay with CCR, but it's... Really?
I just think it's funny that you're on a Zeppelin radio and getting CCR.
Give me the next song. See if I get anything on the next song. I like to do Name That Tune. Hold on. Stevie Ray Vaughan.
No. Yes.
Yes, right?
Yes.
Does that aggravate you? Did I get them all? Stevie Ray Vaughan. I got them all. Good morning from the office.
That's
North
okay.
Georgia's... Huh?
You still tried to call George Jones George Strait yesterday.
Yeah, I did. Good morning from the office. North Georgia's only live online morning show. BKP here. Welcome all. Welcome our new viewers. We have been talking with Superintendent Dr. Wilkes and also of schools, Gilmer County Schools, and the principal. We're going to put that together because there's been a lot of incorrect information. Now, I'm not coming down. I don't have time. It's already 9:31. The show ends at 10 o'clock. I got to do a wrap-up. You know that. But I'm telling you now, I'm not going to get controversial on do I believe in Common Core, don't believe in Common Core. I'm not getting into that. I do have my feelings concerning Common Core, but that is not what I was trying to solve today. Always remember that, okay? My goal is to bring you information, so I was not trying to solve Common Core today. I was trying to get more clarity on these milestones tests for you out there. And hey, I think we got into something, Lonnie, I really like this because last year, I'm going to be interested in this, and I think we finally got into something, and I'm glad Dr. Wilkes was welcome to open it. But Lonnie, we got into if it is a pass for everybody, no pun intended, everybody passed, but if it was not held against them this year, the teacher's assessment, the student's assessment, and we're in November and most of December for high school is going to be these tests, then I think we got into a little bit of how are they going to hold them harmless this year?
And that's the big thing, because we talked about yesterday, and in the article that you'll find on Petro News, is that everybody was saying it's okay, there's this whole hold harmless. But what everybody would, in the same breath, would also say, but we're testing in 2 weeks, in 3 weeks.
You don't have the data. They haven't had the data all year. So I'm going to say, good, bad, or ugly, they do have a point to argue. But then I'm going to tell you another thing now. The whole hold harmless thing doesn't. I'm okay, but. I'm in an age of accountability. I think we've got to go back to accountability. So I think when you put something new in, I'm going to touch around on this. I'm not as upset that the first year they were not going to hold it against you, and just thinking out of the box, if they would have took the test and 10 days later, the data would be back and they would have something to work with. You understand?
And everybody knew.
Because I am definitely an accountability. I think accountability has to be there.
I think the way this came down, and I came in towards the end of the year picking up on a couple things, and I kindly wasn't really in on the milestones testing, but I think what everybody knew it was going to take a decent amount of time to get back, but I don't think anybody figured it would take until November. I think people were expecting, okay, we'll look for it, mid to late summer, but we'll still have time to put it in and take that data and go into the next year, which is now this year and is almost half over before we finally got the testings back. So honestly, when I look around and when I talk to educators and when I talk to teachers, when I talk to students and parents, I get a different thing. But the biggest complaint, I guess, is, if you want to put it like that, the biggest worry that I hear from educators and administrators is, like you just said, it's this thing that, it's November. What do you expect us to do? It's testing's in 2 weeks and we just got the scores back. So what is it that you expect us to learn from this before we go into these tests in 2 weeks?
Well, the inefficiencies in government, and if we go into the second year, and these are our children, and I'm not debating, I think anybody out there knows they have not heard me debate Common Core this morning. I've not debated it. The reality to me that I will say publicly on this camera and on this show is this is par for the course of inefficiency in government. It just is. It's our children, and that bothers me the most. It's our children. And if you had a test that you were going to implement and you did not have a plan to finalize this test and get the data back to the teachers. Now, what Dr. Wilkes said this morning that I think she's hitting a home run with, Lonnie. You walk down the halls, and I said this, and I want to reiterate it. North Georgia, and I upset so many people throughout the course of the day. I don't even know why I do this. But North Georgia still, and there's so many counties in North Georgia that still assimilate local school systems, and they're closer to having control. Now, you're out there yelling at the TV now or yelling at the screen saying, we have no local control. This is our problem. The closest thing you have to any local controls is still in a school system is North Georgia. That's the closest thing we have. And when she says she walks down the hall and sees a lot of good teachers, okay, a lot of good instructors, she's telling the truth. I mean, this goes for Pickens County, Fannin County, Gilmer County. There are a lot of great teachers when you walk down these halls, okay?
And I would say with that, people might hear that and they're like, well, how can you say we have good teachers and we're scoring in 30%? How do you explain that? And I'd say to those, without so much defending, I would say look at the graduation rate at 91%. We talked about that this morning. But also, let's look at the idea of what is behind this, and what they're pushing for is raising the bar. Helping our kids to grow and get stronger. And a lot of the press releases say, in the changing world, in the modern world, there's different things that you have to be proficient with. There's different things that you have to be educated on. So, on one hand, I have to say, okay, I'm a little in agreement with it. Maybe after a decade of CRCT and EOCT, maybe okay, it's time to change. Maybe to update, to upgrade, and to move into new standards. But again, it falls back on, okay, well, you want us to upgrade and you want us to update and you want us to change. Where's the data to go along with it? It's in November, and how are we supposed to change? And also, look back and see how this affects the state in a generality as teachers. And you always have to look at education. You always have to look, and I hate this, but you also always have to look at education as somewhat of a business. How do you attract good teachers? How do you build a good education system for the kids? And a lot of those teachers look at standards like this, but a lot of those teachers look at how you react and how you plan. And I think, a lot of what we heard today is setting goals for the future, improving. I haven't heard a lot of, oh, well, the blame is here and the blame is here and the blame is here. the great thing that I love about our Gilmer County schools is that what I've heard today is, look, this is what it is, and this is how we are going to improve. This is what we are going to do to make it better. This is what we are going to do to improve. And that's I guess, the bottom line is the takeaway, as you like to say. The takeaway for me is that I'm not hearing a lot of, oh, blame this guy or blame that guy. It's their fault. It's, this is what it is, and let's move forward. Let's improve.
A lot of people are saying, I'm receiving emails this morning saying, trash Common Core, raise the standards and trash Common Core. Standards, I think, need to be raised. I think people are accepting that. We have good teachers. I can go on all morning. I thank you for the email because I think I would say, with the exception of a couple words, not meanings. The meaning of your email I have to concur with, and I received here, I have to concur with the meaning of your email. My biggest concern is inefficiency in government. I'm going to just say real quick and wrap it up. Why did you administer a test, right or wrong or indifferent? Why did you administer a test that you did not have a plan to produce the data in an efficient amount of time for the people to take the data, apply it to the children that were getting instruction so they could be prepared for this year's test? Now, was that too simplistic, or is that inefficient government at work as usual? And I'm going to end the discussion on this morning by saying it's not the teachers, people. Trust me, it's not the teachers, okay? I asked, boy, I don't know the word end. I asked Dr. Wilkes if they had been contacted by the state, because I think superintendents out in the rural areas, out in the the real part of Georgia, I think superintendents should have a voice. And you heard the answer on that. So let me move forward here because it is 9:41. We have 20 minutes. I want to go through something really quick. 8 Syrians caught at the Texas border. 8 Syrians have been caught. 2 federal agents operating under the umbrella of the U.S. Customs and Border Protection are claiming that 8 Syrian illegal aliens attempted to enter Texas from Mexico in the Laredo sector. Maybe Mr. President can read these articles also. Now let's go to another one briefly here. 8. Now, we told you about old Five Guys, right? Told you about that. 5 guys headed to the U.S. with fake passports. That has now changed. It is turned in. It's turned into 6. Let me pull that up. We no longer have 5. 5 is now 6. So the 6th. You have this here from Gateway Pundit. I read this at 5 o'clock this morning, and we had our milestone testing program today, but this is from Jim Hoff, November 19th at 6 a.m. this morning. So I told a lie. I read it at 5. I actually read it at 6 a.m. Yes, I know what I just said, but I knew it was early. I knew it was early, probably earlier than most of you were up. Anyhow, I read this morning that there were 5 Syrians with stolen Greek passports tried to enter the U.S. from Honduras. Breaking news, Honduras has detained 5 Syrians who were traveling by land to the United States with stolen Greek passports. The pictures are up here. Now, the Syrian men were held, there's a 6th one now. The Syrian men were held in Honduras after the arrival from Costa Rica. The men had traveled by air from Syria to Lebanon, then to Turkey, then to Brazil, Argentina, Costa Rica, and on to Honduras. You know how many times they heard, we hope you enjoy the flight. We will be coming down the center of the aisle with refreshment carts for you that have fake passports headed to the U.S. Now this, a sixth Syrian man with a similar bogus passport was arrested in Honduras on Friday. Reuters mentioned the sixth man arrested at the end of today's video. Now, that is, Mr. President, maybe you can read that account. Now, I want to know from you. Now, I'm reading this: 6 Syrians with fake U.S. passports. Now, ISIS has bragged that in the thousands of refugees, they're hiding, infiltrating ISIS terrorists within them. They brag that that's happening. They brag they're going to do that. Not me. You go Google that. You can find it. ISIS brags that they are doing this. Brags. But yet, the President of the United States wants to lead you to believe, through Josh Ernst, that this is a Republican problem and it's the Republicans' fault. I'm going to take a brief break. BKP, good morning from the office, North Georgia's only live online morning show, and I will be back right after these messages to wrap up. Mr. President, you scared the daylights out of me. I got to give you credit for that. Take a break, Lonnie.
Only one thing beats a day's price on a new Chevy. It's our pre-owned price. Now at the Days Chevy Jasper Pre-Owned Super Center. Save thousands off original MSRP on the best selection of pre-owned vehicles in the North Georgia mountains. Cars, trucks, SUVs, even luxury vehicles. Many with factory warranty. And all thousands below new car prices. We can even help rebuild your credit. Save thousands today at the Days Chevy Jasper Pre-Owned Super Center. The North Georgia mountains big volume, low price leader.
Better days ahead, Days Chevrolet.
Find new roads.
Hi, I'm Rhonda the Mattress Lady, and this is my husband Gary, owners of Mattress Overstocked in LJ next to Walmart.
And we want to earn your business. From the time you walk in our door to the time we deliver your new mattress to your door, you will see the difference. Our selection and prices are the best in North Georgia, and customer service is our top priority. So y'all come on in and let us help you find the right mattress at the right price. That's Mattress Overstocked in LJ next to Walmart.
LJ Tire Company since 1955. With a huge range of tires at the lowest price and fast, hassle-free service, LJ Tire is all you need every time. LJ Tire carries only the top brands in the industry: Cooper, Michelin, Mickey Thompson, Pirelli, and Yokohama. Stop in and let AES certified mechanics change your oil today. Life doesn't slow down for car maintenance, and LJ Tire won't either. If your car is tired of its tires, go to LJ Tire.
I'm Sheriff Dane Kirby, and I'll stand up for you.
I'm Stacy Nicholson, Sheriff of Gilmer County, and I will stand up for you.
Stand up and speak out. No matter how rich, cool, talented you believe yourself to be, how you treat people ultimately tells all. I am Allison Sosby, District Attorney, and I'll stand up for you.
New Schottenkirk Ford in Jasper. Highway 515 South, Jasper. SchottenkirkFordJasper.com.
What you gonna do with all that junk?
El Rey and Ellijay.
El Rey Mexican Restaurant.
Family owned and operated, and a local favorite for families, parties, and meetings.
Great prices.
Friendly service and delicious Mexican cuisine.
Patio dining available.
Come sing in Carlos's Cantina every Friday 9 to 1.
Eat in or take away.
Same location for 14 years. Open 7 days at the corner of Maddox Drive and 515. North Georgia's favorite Mexican cuisine.
El Rey.
El Rey and Ellijay.
Let it ride during the Lucky 7 sales event at Lifetime Kia. Come try your luck in the money machine. Yes, come take a test drive and you get a chance to grab for cash in the money machine. Plus, shop big time savings on every vehicle in stock. And remember, Kias come with a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty. And Lifetime Kia will extend that warranty for as long as you own it. Come try your luck in the money machine and experience the savings at Lifetime Kia.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds. Come on in to view the area's largest selection of fine jewelry at North Georgia Diamond. All repairs and designs are done on site by our jewelers. And North Georgia Diamond has the lowest prices on loose diamonds. You can also sell your gold, silver, and coins at North Georgia Diamond between Walmart and Lowe's in East LJ. Locally owned by Bill and Allison Craig, North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
Led Zeppelin? Wait a minute. Jimmy Page and the Black Crowes?
Survey says yes.
Jimmy Page and the Black Crowes.
Survey says yes.
What you gonna do with me, folks? Jimmy Page and the Black Crowes. Wow, that makes you mad, don't it?
No, that doesn't make me mad at all because your initial guess was Zeppelin.
Which, this is a Zeppelin tune. And Jimmy Page is part of Zeppelin. No, Jimmy Page got with the Black Crowes. Don't get me all worked up. We got 9 minutes. Jimmy Page got with the Black Crowes. And he did some Zeppelin remakes that are very, very good. I am your host, BKP. Good morning from the office. North Georgia's only live online morning show. We want to have plenty of time to give our sponsors at the end of the show. Paul Ryan, first major act as Speaker of the House, block any amendments to flawed refugee resettlement bill. Paul Ryan, all eyes are on you. Now, we've got 8 minutes here to close the show. We are going to find out Paul Ryan. Now, I don't have time. A lot of people may wish that I would have taken today to tell you that Doug Collins and Tom Graves and David Perdue and you are out there. We have already brought that up. You are out there telling us. For you that did not tune in earlier, why will the president not listen to the American people? Why do we stay in trouble with him? Why does he attack us more than he does the enemy? Why will he not say war? Why will he not say radical Islam? Why will he not talk about Muslims? Why are the refugees that come in this country 93% Muslim, 3% Christian? Why will he not get upset when Christians are attacked? Why? We don't know. He's dangerous. This guy is scary, dangerous. Increasing the number of Syrian refugees coming into this country. That's the question. 41 approve of that. 56% of you say no. Overwhelming military force is the best way to defeat terrorism. 58% of you say that. Sending additional ground troops to fight ISIS in Iraq and Syria. 65% of you agree with that. Your military is waiting on go. I mean, we do not want to lose any more, not another innocent life for a worthless cause. Let's make sure that's clear. Worthless cause. But your military is waiting on go. They can clean them out. Now, Obama, with 6 minutes left, came into office determined to tear this country down. For all of you that hate what I just said, he was determined. He is to him and the game plan When he went like this, on that inauguration day, the game plan was to fundamentally change the country, as he said in his own words, and he did. He did, okay? He has been a success in his eyes. He's just got to get your guns. He's got to finish off the EPA and get your guns. As soon as he can get that done, he's finished. He's finished. He was determined you would not be a world power. The Arab Spring, the Great Cairo speech, he immediately went into that. He knew it took this time to screw up the whole damn world. But he knew he wanted us to not be a superpower. He knew he wanted other people to have superiority over us, that we were no better than anybody, and he was going to prove it, and he has. He has our allies. He has our allies looking to Russia and China. He has our allies calling Russia and China, Vladimir Putin and President Ching Chang or whoever he is. He has our allies looking to China and Russia. Yes, instead of us. We have John Kerry. This dumbass stands over there and says that the Charlie Hebdo attack was inspired, rational, had maybe, he says the stupidest stuff. I mean, if you're running a corporation today, the very last word that came out of John Kerry's mouth, let me tell you, Lonnie will tell you, you would be getting a text, call me now. That would be now. You call, boom, wrap it up, brother. Bring it home. Bring it home. No, you don't work for me anymore. You do not work for me anymore. You got it? And you say, well, you're not rational. You would just do things off the cuff. Let me tell you something. American people are looking for a leader that will do some things off the cuff. They're looking for a problem solver. Now, I'm getting out there a little bit. I know it. Paul Ryan, the first major action Paul Ryan has, will take as Speaker of the House is blocking amendments with a closed rule process on flawed bill dealing with immigration. House Homeland Security Committee Chairman Mike McCall, Americans Security Against Foreign Enemies Act, which he claims puts in place a robust vetting process for refugees, is under heavy scrutiny as it heads to the floor, vote for the floor Thursday. Members of both parties, Republican and Democrat, have criticized it. President Obama has even threatened to veto of it if ever it reaches his desk, while several Republicans believe it's simply a show vote that won't fix the problem. Now it's official. As of late Wednesday evening, House GOP leadership is blocking any amendments from being offered to the bill as the legislation is rushed to the House floor. Okay, now we're going to watch this today. We're not going to get into the minutia because of the fact is we could get it wrong, and we got 3 minutes. Paul Ryan, let me tell you something, Speaker of the House Ryan, do not negotiate, do not work with, do not accept anything less. Come to the American people, come to us. Get out in front of the TV, tell the American people what's at stake, tell them what could happen, tell them that it's national security and you cannot waver one bit. Let me tell you something. The House and the Senate can make certain things happen when it comes to our national security, and a traitor or somebody that is causing us harm. President of the United States is causing this country harm. I'm BKP. Good morning from the office. North Georgia's only live online morning show. I did not get the full opportunity to get as controversial as I would like. John Kerry said it was legitimate and rational. Times Square, don't worry, because there's no stop and frisk, and if you report anything suspicious, it'll be considered racial profiling. My estimate is somewhere in the heartland there will be a strike, and we are not prepared. Poor working conditions and $15 minimum wage is what they're demanding at airports on strike SEIU. We did our milestone testing. We will have that on the internet later today. We want to end this morning by saying thank you to Days Chevrolet, Circuit World, Mesquite Grill, L&L Beanery, Salon 84 Hair and Color, Clock Tower Gifts and Boutique, Woodbridge Inn, Sensations, 1907 Restaurant, UPS Store in East LJ, North Georgia, Diamond Mattress Overstocked, LJ Fitness, WebWorks Lawn Care, 706-889-4893, 706-889-4893. That's WebWorks Lawn Care, Messrs. Orchards, and Blue Ridge Ace Hardware Amish Furniture. I am your host, BKP. We will be back with Fetch Fun Friday. Fetch Fun Friday tomorrow morning. Enjoy your beautiful afternoon of 68 degrees. Hey, it's 10 a.m. and we have, again, Led Zeppelin. We'll end on that. We have been getting the lead out all morning, and we'll be back tomorrow at 7.